You're good to go.
Welcome to Draft Deepers 2021 live show. I am so excited to be joined by Matt Maurer and Jonathan and Jordan Ennis. Boys, how are you guys doing? Are you excited for the draft? It's been a long road to get here. People were saying that last year's process was incredibly long. I feel like this one was also really incredibly long, but I'm excited to be here. Matt, I'll start with you, man. How you doing? Are you pumped for the draft tonight? What are you looking for to happen? What are you looking for?
I am pumped. I'm pumped for it to end finally. I don't know how everybody else feels, but it was such a long draft year, and I think because they pushed it to July, I think my body, since doing this since '98 and watching it since 1985, my brain has always been in June. So it's like, yeah, shouldn't the draft already be done? And no, it's in July this year. And then you had this whole dilemma with the seniors have to declare, and you have all these prospects now that you have to look at that didn't have to look at because they were usually automatically eligible. So it's been a whirlwind for sure.
Agreed.
What about you, Jordan?
Oh, I also moved during the middle of this year and had a kid. So like on top of everything, it's been kind of crazy, switching continents during the middle of a draft season and right in the like peak of draft season and trying to keep up with this, kind of has driven me a little crazy, but I'm happy that we're finally here, and I'm kind of almost excited to begin the next draft season with a little bit more spaced out coverage. I feel like we shoved everything into the last like 2 minutes, it feels like.
What about you, Jonathan?
Man, kind of the same way. It feels so compacted with the end of the season stretching, which obviously it had to be. We can talk ad nauseum about how I don't think we needed to play 72 games, but whatever. But it's been really good. I think this year has been one of my favorites because I feel like we got just as much info as a lot of insider scouts because a lot of gyms didn't let people in. There was a lot of stuff. So I feel like we got just as much availability on a lot of these guys than a lot more members of media or even pro team scouts might have gotten in some cases, especially with European player.
Well, it's funny you say that because there are a lot of reports out there, like a week before the draft, you see like some of these scouts and executives literally changing their boards as they actually get guys in for workouts, and they're letting that affect their boards. I don't know how I personally feel about that. I don't think that you can put more stock into a workout than what's actually on the film and what the stats say. Those have to be prime indicators for me. But I understand making slight adjustments to an evaluation, but moving people up and down a board, to me, that's a little drastic. Matt, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I always, it's half what to me, scouting has always been, I would say 80% of what you see during the regular season. And then as the season closes, you kind of see how these guys perform in, the pre-draft camps, NCAA tournament. And then you kind of, you kind of look back at the information you did during the year and you say, like, is this still accurate? I think when you do these drastic 180s on prospects, I think that's dangerous. If a guy was just an okay shooter and he got with a shooting coach for 3 weeks and now all of a sudden he can't miss, it's like, I don't know if I trust that. So
Right.
Yes, sir. So, like I said, I'm incredibly excited to be here. Before we get too deep into our little pre-show here, we can do a little bit of a mock. We can give a few evaluations before we lead up to pick number 1 that will be made by the Detroit Pistons. We already kind of know what the pick is, but we'll still have a conversation. So why don't we go around and kind of give a little bit about yourselves and where everybody can find you and your work on social media to make sure that all that's plugged before we get too deep into this. So I'll start with you, Jordan, and then we'll go over to Jonathan, then we'll kick it down to Matt. Where can everybody find you? What's kind of your little backstory, and most importantly, what's the thing you're most excited about on draft night? What's the thing you want to see the most?
Okay, so you guys can follow me. I'm pretty active on Twitter. I am the Baturi preacher, which Baturi means white man in Pidgin, and so we grew up in Nigeria. We talked about that earlier. So uh, you can just follow me on Twitter there. I'm also on Facebook with we've got the Assisted Development Podcast on Facebook. Do it with Jonathan. We have our website. We've got 5 different writers covering all things basketball. So we've got one writer who mainly covers WNBA stuff. I usually do draft stuff. We've got a little different group of people. We're trying to do as broad as we can, sticking with just basketball. So I'll let Jonathan add. Oh, what I'm excited for. I am ready to see something drastically change with Portland or the 76ers, because I think that this is the night that something's going to change.
Can I suggest that they just change a couple of pieces between the two of them, namely Ben Simmons and Damian Lillard? I want to see that change.
I don't think Dame's gonna get moved tonight, and I
No,
don't know.
I don't think so either. But I want to see that change because I think that would be fun. I'm Jonathan. You can find me on Twitter as well. I'm Pastor Post Up. I'm currently a pastor. I'm a former coach. I love to I love the player development side of coaching too. So I like to work with younger kids too. With that, and I really am excited this draft because I'm a big time Rockets fan, and it's the first time the draft has been relevant since Yao. Really, if we're going to be completely honest, because the Daryl Morey years was just get all the draft picks to someone else so we can get other players. So I'm excited for the draft to be relevant this year. Really, I lean Jalen Green for that spot. I think I have him evaluated as, in my mind, the highest superstar potential player in the draft. But I'm not going to be disappointed with Mobley or Cade either. If it's not one of those 3, I'm going to be a little upset. So, yeah.
I think Houston's gonna make the right call with one of those 3 if the Woj bombs are already reported. So,
Yeah.
and they're gonna play out that way. But Matt, what about you, boss?
Yeah, my name is Matthew Maurer. I do work on the draft review. I've been doing this for far too long, since 1998. I'm an NBA draft historian. I'm the only one that I know of. I actually researched every single draft pick that's ever was drafted since 1950. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and online. So I just appreciate everybody taking the time to check us out, and look forward to great conversations tonight.
Matt, we wouldn't be a draft show if we didn't engage in some of the media hyperbole, is what we'll call it, and everyone wants to compare this draft because of how deep it is and with all the star power at the top to 2003. Why don't you explain to our audience how potentially accurate and or far-fetched that notion might be, given that you do have all of this knowledge on previous drafts? Where would you personally rate this draft among some of the others you've been able to watch and study over the years?
Yeah, I think it's the deepest draft we've had in about 4 or 5 years. I wouldn't say it's this. To me, that's the gold standard. 84, 96, 2003. Those are the gold standards.
Yep.
I don't think anybody, even in 2003 and 96, if you read the literature and the reviews of the time during the drafts, no one had them as, this is going to be a great draft. So I'm always hesitant to say this is going to be a great draft on those lines. It has potential, has tons of potential. I think it's extremely deep. I think you can get a guy, 6 or 7 that would have battled for top 3 last year or top 4 last year. So the talent is there. Second round, there's tons of guys that are just sitting there full of potential. I mean, me and you talked about on the podcast about a guy, Jared Butler, who I'm.
Oh man, his name's gonna come up a lot on this show.
It will, and it should. I really like his game, but he's a guy that we haven't seen this type of situation around a prospect since Monty Williams, who's now the Suns coach. Yes, I'm going that old school. But he was looked at as a lottery pick, and then he had heart condition issues, which made him fall into the late first. So it's going to be interesting to see where teams do with that information or whatever that information may be, and how comfortable they are with that. But he's a guy that could slip. I mean, there's a lot of. I think that the idea is when we talk about the best drafts of all time, it's not just the Kobe's, it's not just the Allen Iversons. It's the world of role players, the high level role players that you're getting in those drafts. So I think we're all fixated on the superstars, and we rightfully should. But I mean, the role players, if you take a look at those drafts, those are what really stand out. The guys that are, high level starters on quality teams, those are the guys that they really boost the draft class up. And I think this draft certainly has that potential.
Well, it's role players win championships, right? It's
Absolutely.
as
Right.
much as it is the stars. You got to have the right guys able to support that star, and we saw that with Milwaukee this past year in the finals, and in plenty other years as well. So, but let's talk about the top of the draft, since that's going to be a focus for everybody, at least for a little bit. These top 3, top 4 picks. Jordan, when you're looking at things with the top of this draft, there are a lot of people, including myself, who can make the argument that some of these guys, there's a number of them, not just one guy, who might be able to go number 1 overall in other years. Like, do you see this as like a 3-guy type draft, a 4-guy type draft? Like, where are you at in terms of the star power at the top?
I mean, honestly, to me, I think that there are like 7 superstar potential guys in this draft. Now, do I think all of them will hit? No. Do I think all of them should be the number 1 pick? No. I think there are 3 that are in contention for like number 1, and they would have been number 1 last year. And just like looking ahead to next year, I think they would also all be number 1 next year, and that's Cunningham, Green, and Mobley. To me, those 3 are the absolute kind of guys that change franchises around. So the floor on Cunningham is he will be a sub all-star. He'll be like SGA. That's that to me. I think he's going to have a great career. He's got a high floor. He might never make an All NBA first team. He might. He probably will. I mean, that's not an insane idea to think that he's going to be an MVP even. But his floor is just so insanely high that he would be the number 1 pick in most drafts. Not everyone, but most. And I was on a podcast last week or earlier this week. It's all starting to run together. And earlier this week, I said something along the lines of that if you look at it, the past 10 years, he's probably over the top half. So he's not this franchise change. He's not the next LeBron. He's not going to come in and immediately better than Luka. Like, those are the things I've heard. But he's also not going to be completely terrible because of his assist to turnover ratio and all these. So kind of you hear both sides on Cade. Cade's awesome. Green is awesome. He's got a lower floor than Cade, but he's got a higher ceiling. Green is awesome. Most years he would be your number 1 pick. Mobley is this new age big, maybe a wing as well. Some people think he's a wing. I think you think he's a wing, right, Nathan? You think he can be that big wing?
He's definitely a 4. I don't think he's a 5.
Yeah.
He's definitely a 4. If he masquerades as like a
I agree with
4-3 at
that.
different times, like yeah, that might be his position long term. But yeah, we got 3 really interesting guys at the top. I'd throw Suggs
They're
into that
insane.
conversation, being the 4th guy as well. Jonathan, I want to ask you a unique question, because
All right.
you do have a little bit of a coaching background. So we can say all these nice and glowing things about some of these players, but from a coach's perspective, out of those like 4 guys, who would you be most excited to bring into your locker room? Not necessarily just the best guy, but who would you be most excited about?
There is a demeanor I get out of Jalen Green that his demeanor in everything he does screams gym rat to me. Just there is a way he answers questions, the way he breaks down tape on things. He just screams gym rat to me. With that said, Mobley is super self-aware as well. He did an awesome interview on NBA TV just a few minutes ago, and was and was super self-aware, said everything that makes him a great prospect. I like to make a joke that Evan Mobley is my favorite big prospect, 4 or 5 to come out since Anthony Davis. And I think he's clearly the number 3 guy in this draft, which is insane because he's just really good. I think he sees himself as someone who can play both offensively and defensively in that Kevin Garnett role. And I don't think that's too much of a stretch, especially when you see the way he's able to move off the dribble, pass with both hands, pass out of double teams, and all of those things. Maybe even run some inverted pick and rolls. And then the defense is really there. Jalen Green is probably one of the better prospects in terms of if I need a superstar, which every team at the top of the draft needs a superstar. So that's where I would. I mean, you're there for a reason. You're there for a reason. And so that's why I would lean Jalen Green. At the same time, Cade Cunningham, I like to say he is the player. I cannot think of a player in the last 10 years that has had less "can he really" in his game. Because for every other number 1 pick has always had a question, can he really do this at the NBA level? I really don't have any question about Cade. There's no, can he really defend at an NBA level? Nope, we saw that. Can he really shoot at an NBA level? He shot 40%. Come on. Can he pass at an NBA level? Yes. There's no question mark of can he really do that with me for Cade. This is a really deep class. And as a coach, I would love to have any of these 3. I probably would rank them Green, Cunningham, Mobley, just out of that, just out of a personal preference for my style of coaching. But man, you could do some damage with any of them.
Well, Matt, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you actually have Jalen Green number 1, or do you have Cade Cunningham? I know you're really high on Jalen Green.
I actually have Cade going number 1. Jalen Green, I think, is the number 1 player in the class. But I think a lot of what was just said about Jalen Green is kind of what sold me on him. I had the pleasure to talk to a gentleman that trains Jalen, and everything that was pretty much said is spot on. He's a gym rat. He's hungry. He wants to be the best. Like a lot of guys talk about, I want to be good. Like, no, he'll bleed for it. He really wants it. And, I think Detroit, I know in their heart of hearts, and it looks like Woj just said that they've honed in on taking Cade. I know in their heart of hearts, this was a huge dilemma for them between those 2. And I think Detroit was just uncomfortable with taking the unknown with Jalen, who might have the bigger upside, but, they're just not comfortable with that. They did that with Darko. I don't think they want to make that. I don't think they want to take that risk again. And look, it takes a lot of guts as a GM to go against conventional wisdom and take your guy. Sometimes it works out. I don't know if you guys remember 2004. Everybody bashed Orlando for not taking Emeka Okafor, and they went with Dwight Howard to end up being the better pick. I mean, they were eviscerated on TV for it. Because Emeka Okafor was the number 1 player in college, and everybody thought he should be the number 1 guy. So sometimes it takes a lot of guts to go out there and say, "Hey, look, I know all you guys think it's this guy, but me and my staff think it's this guy." And when you don't have that level, you don't feel comfortable enough to do that. I can't fault him for taking Cade. I really can't.
Wolves Culture, thank you so much for kicking off the chat party over there. If anybody has any questions they want to ask us, any thoughts that they want to give, anything they want us to read out on the air, definitely comment that over in the chat section. We'll be happy to shout you out and answer your questions. But yeah, I listen. I think we know where the top 3 guys are going at this point, but when you get past the top 3, top 4, boys, I had so hard of a time putting together like my mock prediction Like this
I
is
have no clue what to do with the mock.
this draft is absurd. Like I already knew when I put it out, I'm like, I'm gonna regret this. Not necessarily because I care about being right or wrong, but like these picks are gonna change hands. Like we just don't know what's going to happen. And then, like, literally, as soon as I put it out, we had some of those trades at the back end take place. Like, Phoenix gave up their pick.
Yeah.
It's just all this crazy stuff just started happening. But why don't we go through some of our predictions? So we'll go. I think Kay, Jalen, Evan, and Jalen, respectively, are going to go in some kind of order. Why don't we start at number 5, kind of give our predictions from like 5 down to 10. Matt, I'll let you kick that off since you are Mr. Mock Draft on this podcast. Thanks for coming on and sharing your mock draft with me on our show. But kick it off, man. What do you think's going to happen like 5 through 10? If you had to make an educated guess to the best of your ability.
Because that's all it is at the end of the day, is educated guess. But I'll go with
we won't venture past 10. We will not venture past 10. I
Yeah.
struggle to think what's going to happen there, but
yeah, right. I have Barnes, Bouknight, Kuminga, Moody, Wagner, and Giddey.
okay. That
That's
seems like the right other 5 guys or 6 guys. That seems correct. It just in whatever order they end up.
With your guy at 11, waiting to maybe get in that top 10. Sengun.
My man,
Yeah.
Alperen Şengün, who dropped on my mock in terms of my predictions, because I literally, this is how bad it is. I put up one set of predictions for my mock, and then I literally forgot Moses freaking Moody in there, and I was like, oh my god, like this stupid mock draft. Like
I did the same thing with the
happen.
Jalen Johnson one. I did the same thing with Jalen Johnson. I thought I filled out a whole mock draft and thought I had him going in the lottery, and I just I put someone's name twice and had to go back and redo the whole thing.
Jonathan, what do you got? I'll let you go next. What do you got?
Man, and well, the thing is, it's also fluid because it goes based on who goes next. Like, I love the idea of Scotty Barnes to Orlando, just because he does a little bit of everything. I like him just a little bit more than Kuminga. But then I do think that's probably interchangeable. The other person is probably going to OKC. Golden State, I could see them reaching on a win now player, especially with some of the stuff that was said about Wiseman. So a win now move might be, in my opinion, a mistake with someone like Davion Mitchell. I feel like that's way early on him, but I could see them doing that. I could also see them going with someone like Corey Kispert, but I want him to take Moody. Moody would be where I go there, just because that's the best plug and play piece. Won't get in the way of Steph. Won't get, but will really provide a lot of things on both ends of the floor. And Orlando again. I would love Orlando to go Şengün there. I'm not a fan of Wendell Carter Jr. in Orlando. I'm not a fan of him as the starting center. I don't think I wasn't a fan of him in Chicago. I've not seen a whole lot that I've liked out of him. I'd love for them to go Şengün there. Sacramento will probably want to go wing. I could see them reaching up for Josh Giddey there, or maybe Jalen Johnson, James Bouknight, something there. Then we got the big trade. The big trade was Memphis trading into the top 10. And I could definitely see them wanting Josh Giddey. I just feel like he's someone who, with the way they've played Anderson, they could really use a big wing, someone to take some of the heat off of Ja. Maybe they go Jared Butler there. I have Jared Butler as a top 10 grade. But of course, health notwithstanding, we don't have access to his medical records to know exactly what's going on. That could fall there. I think Jalen Johnson, some order of Jalen Johnson, Corey Kispert, and Kai Jones will probably end out the lottery. I'm not sure exactly who goes what and where, but those teams kind of all need forwards. The Indiana, Golden State, Washington all kind of need help at the forward spot, and I think they'll go there with those as well.
I can't wait to break down as we actually get the picks. I can't wait to break down team fits. But
Yeah.
Jordan, you're last up on the mock predictions, bud. 5 through 10, hit me.
Barnes, I guess at 5. I don't love it, but I think that's the pick. I think that's what's going to happen. And then we get to Oklahoma City, and I think, to me, they're going to Book Night. I'm a little lower on Book Night, but most of the reporting seems to point towards Book Night. I would love if they went Shingun there. I have heard that OKC does like Shingun. That should be the pick for me. Then we're looking at the Warriors. To me, the best fit for the Warriors is Moses Moody. That would be who I would be
The
targeting.
Ennis brothers are in lockstep on Moses Moody to the Golden State Warriors.
But I could also see them going with Franz Wagner there, and I think that's what I'm going to go in this pick, and that leaves at 8. There, I'm going to go with Kuminga. So
shout out in the chat, by the way, to our good friend from the Overstated, Michael Chapman, asking us who should the Clippers pick because he's stressed. And I know Chap talking all the time to Chap. He's like always stressed about Clippers something. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, like Day'Ron Sharpe is mocked to the Clippers pretty heavily at this point, right?
Yeah, but I hate that fit.
Yeah.
They need two Terrence. They need Terrence Min. They need 2 Terrence
Men.
Iota Sumu. They need 2 Terrence Men.
Or they could think, or they could just try to hope Trey Man falls that far and then just confuse people by having 2 guys with Man on the back of the jersey.
There you go.
When Jordan and I were in school, we tried to confuse people that way because we had some different skill sets when we played. So.
Yeah, what do you think? Who do you think the Clippers should take? I know we're like way far down at that point. We're going from like 10 to like 25, but what do you think, man? What are your thoughts?
I think I have him right now in my mock that I did. I think I had him taking Primo.
I don't hate that.
But I do agree that they do need to start looking at point guard play. I don't know if Patrick Beverley's the answer for them. Definitely could get some guy to get out there that maybe can defend a little bit better. Maybe somebody like Miles McBride.
That's my pick. That's my pick. Chap. Miles McBride.
I have Bones mocked to him.
Bones
Highland.
That's my local
That dude
kid.
he is a right-handed Brandon Jennings is what he is. Just he's the type of guy you think is a gunner, and then you look and you're like, oh well, they're not really. He's actually pretty decent. Like he's not just a shooter. Like I like Bones going there because he's got some size that they're kind of missing with an older Beverly that's losing a step. That they could move some stuff around. He can play with Beverly, without Beverly, and he's just a good person to help initiate, so Kawhi doesn't have to do everything towards the end of games. Maybe.
Hey, you just said Deuce McBride. For me, my comp for him is who Patrick Beverley thinks he is. So I'm just saying, it's a perfect fit.
That's a good one too. I think they need to go point guard.
I agree.
Shout out to Ben. Well, but I hate to break it to you, Ben. I think we're all going to be wrong about something at some point. But he said, "I'm just waiting for the Ennis brothers to be wrong," and I'm like,
I'm always going to be wrong
like
about
sitting
something.
here laughing. I'm like, we will always be wrong. It's part of scouting. It's just part of life, man.
We also don't have sources either, too, so it makes it kind of hard to.
Yeah.
Mock drafts are so hard.
If Shams can be wrong and have to retract stuff every now and then, if Shams and Woj can have to retract stuff about picks they're releasing, we can retract some of our bad takes.
Helicase 21 prediction time. How far does Kuminga fall?
I don't think he falls to 21.
Yeah, I don't think he falls that far.
No,
I don't think he falls past 10.
I can see the farthest him slipping is 12 by some weird circumstance. But yeah, I don't see him slipping past 12. I think that would be drastic.
Well, let me ask you guys a question because I don't think he falls past 8, but at the same time, that means that it's likely Scotty Barnes and Jonathan Kuminga, two players who
Yeah,
you
that's
know
the
are
only
going
reason
to
I think
need.
he could fall past 8.
Yeah.
You know they're two guys who are going to need a lot of development time. Like Jonathan, what do you think about that? Like if they took Scotty Barnes and Jonathan Kuminga, while that can be enticing to some, and they are technically in a rebuilding situation, do they maybe want to bring in somebody else at 8 who's more of a quote unquote sure thing in his rookie year, or how do you feel about that?
The at 8
At
or
8, yeah. So if he slid
at 8.
to
So
8, yep.
if he slid to 8, well, here's the thing: if Kaminga slides to 8, I think that assumes to me that Orlando already went at 5 with Barnes. So
I think that's pretty much what's being reported. I think they're likely going to take Scotty Barnes. We
And
we
so
could
I
be
don't
shocked, but
so I don't think between those guys, Jonathan Isaac, Chuma Okeke, uh, and I don't know that they need another forward in that spot. So I could see them going somewhere else for sure. And so maybe then he falls, but I don't. Oh my goodness, Kaminga to the Grizzlies at 10 would be really fun. That
Pat,
would be
fun when I
there's
come
been
visit
some
you.
talk of there's been some talk about the Warriors having Kuminga in for another workout, some interest possibly being there with him. I think there's enough buzz around Franz, but I wouldn't rule out Kuminga for the Warriors either. What do you think about that possible fit? Because really, that's where the draft starts. The draft starts at 7 with Golden State.
Yeah,
is
I
what
try
we're seeing.
so hard not to be hard on on my takes with certain guys. I had, Kuminga. There's just something about him. I've watched him since his sophomore year. I do worry about how much is left. And I know it sounds insane to say that when the kid is 18, 19 years old, but when the game is almost the same from a sophomore year to today, that gives me a little bit of pause. It makes me wonder, like, is he just a guy that peaked early, or is he a guy that, this is as far as he'll go? He's an NBA athlete right now. The minute he steps into an NBA court, he's an NBA athlete. He's got an NBA body, size. He checks a lot of those boxes on the physicality side. The part that I think the reason that Kuminga has slid a little bit is there are a lot of trepidation regarding how much skill development does he have? Like, is he coachable? I mean, we saw in the G League Ignite, we saw Jalen Green literally work in the G League and get certain things that he did not have in the beginning, because we all were talking about Kuminga the first couple games of the G League Ignite. He blew us away. And then as Jalen Green started to work more and more with working off the dribble, shooting off the dribble, things that we were like, man, he needs to work on that. He did. And so we could see that coachability. We could see all that stuff happen. I think that's the reason why people are worried about Kuminga, really, at the end of the day. I mean, look, he's got all the goods, but there is questions regarding, like, what skill development is there. Is he a guy that's just, he's always going to be an athlete, and that's what you're going to get? Or is he a guy that's an athlete that will make that transition? Because that's the hardest part with any prospect. When you are such an elite, specimen on the athletic side, skill development is secondary. And unfortunately, it's just the way it is. We saw it with even young Michael Jordan. We saw it with Kobe. There's
Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins. When they're just so athletic, the skill development side just gets set to the side. I mean, Derek Jones right now is in the NBA because he's a freak athlete. So we see it all the time. So I think that's the reason for his slide. I think in Memphis, does he fit? Yeah, I could see him fitting there. I could see a guy like Brooks, lighting a fire under him, getting him, acclimated to being a professional and teaching him the ways of being a good teammate. I could see that for sure. It's not out of the realm of possibility for him.
Memphis has a really good culture that they pick good guys. I think the worry with Kuminga is basically, do you think you're getting Kawhi Leonard and you end up getting James Ennis?
Mhm. Yeah. I do want to push back just a little bit on so you don't think that he added the playmaking to his game? Because I feel like he did really improve on that this year.
Oh well,
Who,
yeah, sure.
Kuminga?
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give that. I'll give that for sure. Yeah, I'll be.
So
fair. I'll
I
be
do
fair.
think there are. Yeah, I do think there
Definitely
are
was
some
more
things.
willing to pass.
There are some things that he's added. Now, for that to be the only thing, that is worrisome. Because I agree with you, he has not added. He hasn't added post moves. He hasn't added shooting. He hasn't really added defensive instincts or defensive not instincts, but fundamentals. He's really easy to fake out, even though he's a really good athlete. So I agree with you that there are something, but in the hopeful category, he did add the playmaking. So
Absolutely, that's fair.
I mean, the thing about Kuminga is that, like, I'm more along the lines with Matt, just in terms of, I don't know if I see one definite bankable skill for him other than attacking the basket off a line drive and maybe that spin move when he gets around the basket. That's like 1.5 skills. So I do think there's a lot of development that needs to take place with somebody like Kuminga. But we talk about the Memphis fit, and I agree with Jonathan. I think that'd be a great fit for him and Matt, because when you look at what Kuminga did in the G League, he at the very least was not afraid of anybody. He did not let anybody else push him around, take his lunch money. He took on a lot of offensive responsibility for that team, at some points even more so than Green. And to Matt's point, that's why we were talking about him so much those first few games. So when you at least have that mentality, I think that mindset, that willingness to want to take on more, definitely fits that Memphis attitude, right? So I do think that would actually be a decent spot for him. Really quick in the chat section, Jacob, we know you're there, my friend. We love everybody over at the Overstated. Matt, he actually gave you a shout out. He said Matt's beard is majestic. So there you go. We got to get some compliments in there. We all got to feel good about each other. So
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner has come to the stage with the first pick right now. Not that it's going to be a big surprise, but
oh yeah, Shams just said Cade Cunningham. He didn't even write it out. It's just Detroit #1, Cade Cunningham. He didn't even try.
There it is. So he took his visit to Detroit. He wanted to be there. Seems like they wanted him at the end of the day through much deliberation in their front office. But so Cade Cunningham, we can make these team comparisons. We can talk about these guys and their fits when the pick's made. So Cade Cunningham with the Detroit Pistons. What do you guys think about it?
He's going to release #2 as well.
Would that be a Jalen Green?
Yeah. Sources: Houston, #2, Jalen Green. Green came to New York City on a private jet from Houston. He will return on a private jet back to Houston.
Well, there you go.
So
it was also the owner's private jet of the Houston Rockets.
Fertitta's private jet. I mean, so not really a huge surprise.
Let's talk about Cade Cunningham to the Detroit Pistons. Matt, what do you think about the fit?
I mean, I think that's the reason why he was selected. I mean, he's a drop and play guy as soon as he goes in. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of holes in his game. I think the only thing through my evaluation that I did worry about was athleticism. I think he's a little touch slow. But to his credit, I mean, he was the only guy in Oklahoma State that could generate consistent offense. You didn't really get a chance to see the point guard skills as much that people talk about, but I think that was more of a situation with where he was at. I was impressed with his scoring ability. I mean, he's just overall an impressive, solid guy. I think he's a Grant Hill with no athleticism.
Yeah.
Because Grant was
more limited athleticism. I won't say no athleticism, but more limited than Grant. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm being drastic there. Yeah.
He's actually more like that post ankle injury Grant Hill that came back and was still an all-star.
Yes, I see that.
A lot of that. Nathan, you asked me to be bad comps guy, so I will lean in.
No. Not going to do bad comps. We're not being Gosh, we've seen some ESPN analysts give out some horrible comps over
Kendrick
the years.
Perkins this year.
But-
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, it might be.
Called
I
him
guess
LeBron
Kendrick
James
Perkins
like
has
10
taken that
minutes ago.
role. Jalen Rose has had his shares. Seth Greenberg has
Monte
had his
Billups.
shares.
But if I'm gonna be honest, he's got a lot of, and this sounds disparaging because they just used a number 1 pick on him, but he's got a lot of Chris Middleton in his game.
Okay.
And
I've
that
heard that
sounds
name. Yep.
and that sounds disparaging, but I don't. But look, the dude. I'm talking about the every 10 games when Chris Middleton looks like he's a top 10 player of all time before he goes and he plays like he shouldn't be on the team. But there's that Chris Middleton cycle meme where it talks about he plays like Kyle Kuzma, then he plays like Prime MJ, then he, all that. But he's really got a lot of that, the best parts of Chris Middleton, where he can handle, he can pass, he can shoot, he can do a little bit of everything. And he's got the dog in him that some other guys need. I think Chris Middleton is a lot of the main reason that the Bucks team won that championship, because he got the dog in him. And he lights a fire under Giannis in ways that Giannis needs. And I think Cade's got a lot of that in him. To Matt's point about the point guard skills not translating, as a coach, the amount of times at Oklahoma State that Cade passed to a wide open person that proceeded to miss the rim by at least 3 feet. I mean, it was so bad. And then we're going to say it again with Evan Mobley. And we're going to say it again with Evan Mobley. Both of those guys are significantly better passers than those stats showed.
I would say for Cade that I don't actually think he has to be a full-time point guard, and that's part of why I kind of love him in Detroit, where I think that they can use Hayes as well on and off ball, and Cade on and off ball. I think it's a very good fit. The other fantastic thing about Cade is he's not a lockdown defender, but he can guard your worst player 1 through 4. So you can just put him on whichever one is the worst player, and you don't have to worry about him killing your defense. And I think in time you could actually start moving him up. It doesn't have to be the worst player. You can move him up to the second worst player.
I wouldn't even. Yeah, I think he's a little bit better on defense than you want to give him credit for there too. Like I don't want to make this like
here's the thing. Detroit is not going to use him on the best player as long as they've got Jeremy Grant on the roster. They're going to use Jeremy Grant. So
no, I think he can guard to his position though. Whatever that position is for him, whether I think he probably slides right in as the 2 guard. So you put him right in between Killian and Sadiq Bey, and that's where he comes in. But I listen, I'm excited about the fit. I think that is his best fit. That gives Detroit so many different options offensively as well as defensively. Like if Cade lives up to the type of promise that I think he can live up to in his rookie year, not being a star, maybe like slightly under the level of a star. We already saw what some of those other Detroit guys can do. They'll come back for year 2. I think that Detroit could potentially push for one of those lower seeds and maybe get into the play-in tournament in the Eastern Conference. I'm not going to leave that out of possibility.
Casey's a great coach too, especially for development. So I think it's a good fit. It's a really good fit.
So we can officially announce that the commissioner's at the podium for Jalen Green to the Rockets. So, obviously these are way ahead.
Jordan, what do you think about Jalen Green and the Rockets?
I love it. When the season started, I had Jalen Green first. Cade's floor pushed him ahead of him for me, but I love Jalen Green. I think he's fantastic. I think he fits in good as that primary scorer. And with maybe letting Kevin Porter Jr. take more of a facilitating role. I think it's great. I think they finally have the star that they can build around for the future.
Matt, what do you think? Oh, go ahead, man. I didn't know. I thought you were done.
I kind of view him as a Vince Carter kind of starter kit. So I think he's a fantastic athlete. I think his shot will come around. I think his defense is going to be okay. I'm just excited for this fit. I think it's fantastic.
Matt, what do you think, man? Talk to me. Jalen Green, Houston.
That's my number 1 guy on my big board. I think we're gonna look back at this draft, and I think unfairly it's gonna be linked Green and Cunningham. They're gonna be neck and neck. But I think what separates Jalen Green at the end of the day is every game I've seen of him, he doesn't just want to beat the player he's playing against. He wants to dominate. He wants to insert his will against his. It's almost like he's like at Rucker Park. He doesn't just want to score. He wants to make you. He wants to emasculate you on the court. It's that kind of Kobe Mamba mindset that's rare, and he really lives it. He really believes it. So I just think this isn't like James Harden that Houston was used to, which get fancy and look at my shot. No, he wants to destroy whoever's in front of him, and that's going to be something that they haven't seen in a while in Houston. I think it's a great fit. I think it's going to be wonderful for them.
Jonathan, give us your thoughts, man. You
as the resident Houston fan, I have had Jalen first all year. Cade never passed him to me, and that's nothing to do with Cade. It's just I just fell more in love with Jalen as I watched more tape. Man, he's got the Mamba mentality, like Matt was saying. I've got written down here. He's like if Zach LaVine wanted to win. I mean, he's a 3-level scorer that wants to shove it down your throat every game. And he wants to shove the ball down your throat, and then he wants to take the ball away from you on the defensive end so he can shove it down your throat again. I mean, it's just he is a killer. And very rarely do guys with that mindset not pan out. So I'm real high on him. I love the fit. Obviously, it makes John Wall's place on the team and Eric Gordon's place on the team questionable, but they were probably going to move anyway. I just, they got to rebuild and go young anyway. So we'll see how that goes. But man, this is good. I am so happy we didn't give up extra assets to move up to a guy that wasn't enough better for me to feel that was a good idea.
So, boys, we wanted breaking news. We wanted some trade shakeups. Here we go. The Russell Westbrook trade's finalized. So
and 22 is gone.
We have the Wizards agreeing to trade Russell Westbrook, the 2024 second-round pick, 2028 second-round pick, to the Lakers for Kuzma, KCP, Harrell, and number 22. So basically, the Lakers are getting Russell Westbrook for a bunch of players that they didn't want on the team anyways. So regardless of how I think you might feel about the Westbrook fit with LeBron and AD for the Lakers, like they're going to be able to bring in other guys and they get, whether he's a superstar, whether he's a star, regardless of how you feel about him, they get a guy like Westbrook back for guys that they were going to look to move potentially for somebody like a Buddy Hield anyways. So like when you talk about what Westbrook brings to the locker room, his competitive spirit, his will to win, you put that next to LeBron James, who we know that his whole career is pretty much dedicated to winning at this point with how many times that man's been to the finals. Like, I don't know. I actually surprisingly like the fit, and I haven't really been a big Russell Westbrook guy, like some other people may or may not be. But Matt, what do you think, man? What do you think about the trade? I know it's like, holy crap, we're trying to process it, but just initial thoughts.
I mean, look, I'm not a big Russell Westbrook guy. I think he's possibly one of the greatest athletes at his position ever to play the game. I mean, he's amazing athletically. I do worry about him fitting with LeBron. It doesn't seem like it's a match that fits. I don't know. I can understand this if they plan on cutting LeBron's minutes down this year. And maybe that's their thought process, because Russ is great energy. He's the type of guy you give him the rebound and he'll go downhill as fast as he can. So I like that part. But as we know, LeBron likes to make things a little bit slower. He's not, in his older age, he's not as downhill as he can still do it, but he's not every play. Russ constantly looks to push every single play.
Yep.
I don't know how it fits long term, but again, if the idea is to use Russ in those times where you need LeBron to get a breather, you know, I think it makes sense. I don't know. I just don't think Russ is a highly efficient player, and I know that's an old trope, but there's so much I don't like about his game.
Jonathan, you're giving me this like weird look through basically since I announced the trade, man. You have something brewing in that little thought box of yours. What's going on?
Well, as a member of Russell Westbrook Destroyed My Life Anonymous, the very fact that we almost lost said pick, that is Jalen Green, over Russell Westbrook. At the same time, this makes sense. What else were the Lakers going to do?
Yeah.
What else were they going to do?
Yeah.
Try to do a sign-in trade with Kyle Lowry that makes them hard-capped, and then they can't do anything? No, this is the best they could get, and it really does bump up their championship ceiling.
Who is the only guy that's really that you can look back on that championship in the bubble and say that like, yeah, he was their like one of their main contributors like on that team besides the two superstars? Like it was KCP. So you give up KCP, but then you give up two other guys and a bunch of draft picks who did not contribute to that championship success in a major way to bring in somebody like Russell Westbrook. That's really how I look at it. And so that's why, I think they're not done adding pieces.
Like
so
DeRozan to sign an MLE with them.
No, he's not going to sign an MLE. There's no way. There's no way in hell.
Yeah.
No way. He's going to take his money.
Maybe a sign and trade for Schroeder, but not an MLE.
No,
I think DeRozan might go to Dallas. Sorry, Jordan. I don't know if you like that or not, but
DeRozan. I'm just saying if they're already saying spacing's out the window.
Oh, we got the number 4 pick.
Oh, well, by the way, we missed Mobley.
Yeah.
We'll get around to Mobley. Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes.
I am in shock.
Toronto? That means
also,
Pascal's got to be moved.
Indiana has acquired 31 from Milwaukee in some way. It doesn't say how.
Okay.
That's Woj. I know. I'm so shocked.
I'm lost.
That was a bad pick.
Wait a minute.
Well, before we get to Toronto, we got to talk about Evan Mobley, and we'll have to shift back and forth between potential mega trades and or draft picks.
Right?
But yeah, Jordan, what do you think about Evan Mobley in Cleveland? I think that's the best fit for Mobley, and I've kind of said that on multiple podcasts up to this point. Like he between him and Jared Allen and Isaac Okoro, that's a monstrous front line defensively. And they're going to give people problems in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, they may not win every single game they play, obviously. They might not even be a playoff team next year, but people are going to hate playing that front line. So what do you think about the fit?
I love the fit. I think this is the best fit for him. I also agree that I don't think he's a full-time 5. I think he might get there eventually, but he's not right now. And so I think Allen and him are a fantastic fit. I also think that if you're going to play Allen, Mobley is the exact kind of 4 you want next to Allen. So I think it's just a really solid fit there. He also is a good fit next to Okoro. Basically, it just means your forwards aren't scoring. So, yeah, they're just such a good fit. I do worry a little bit about the high level of ball control that the guards have without passing, but maybe Rubio coming in as the third guard. I don't know. I think Cleveland's been really solid tonight. So I like everything they've done so far.
That's a great point because they made a trade and they brought in Ricky Rubio, and that means they probably aren't done making moves. I would assume that means Colin Sexton could be out the door, regardless of if that happens or not. Matt, you and I talked about on the podcast how we thought that Mobley would definitely be a great fit in Cleveland because Not necessarily of all the defensive aspects, but offensively, you and I both don't think he has like that killer, like number 1 or number 2 type option in him offensively, but he's going to do a lot of things to help your team. And I think that takes a lot of the scoring pressure off of him if he plays with some dynamic guards and maybe even somebody like Okoro who keeps developing his offensive skills. Well, what do you think about the fit from that standpoint?
I think I took some flack from the draft community because I had Mobley as my number 1 power forward. And as we just talked about, I think he eventually will become a center, but I have him as a 4. So I think he fits really good with Cleveland. I think he's going to take a couple years to get acclimated and get these things that we've questioned about him, but a long term, look, I think you got a great situation there for him. And I think Cleveland, I just hope they keep whatever the projection and the thought process with building. I just hope they continue on that path, because Cleveland in the past has been haphazard with how they constructed their teams. So I hope this
to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got more breaking news.
Oh, Lord.
The NBA will release a new top 75 players for the 75 years that will not be holden to the 50 at 50 list. So they
Wow.
are completely starting over.
Wow.
That's per Mark Stein. So I know that's not draft related, but that's a pretty huge
Other breaking
thing for the
news:
future of the league.
Jalen Suggs looks relatively happy to not be drafted 4th. So he must have got a promise from somewhere he really wanted to go.
I mean, maybe he just didn't want to live in Canada. I mean, I don't know.
He, according to Woj, Jalen Suggs is going to Orlando at 5.
Oh,
so
poor Markel.
Yeah.
Why
just like much better
don't we
Mark
talk
Marquez.
about Scotty Barnes at number 4, Jonathan? Because everyone, I think all of us were pretty much shocked at that point. But what do you think about that fit with that 4th overall pick?
Don't argue with your coach, or they'll ship you off the team. Pascal, this means Pascal's gone, right?
I don't know if it means he's gone.
But
one of my follow-up questions was going to be: do they think that Scotty Barnes is a 5? And do they just try and be all out?
No, you know what? They had to play a lot of Pascal at the 5 this last year. They played a ton of Pascal at the 5, and then they played a lot of Chris Boucher at the 5. I don't think he's a 5. We'll get into that with Kai Jones as well. I don't think I think in a similar vein, for a prospect. But Scotty can play kind of anywhere, as long as you're not asking him to take jumpers off the dribble. You can kind of plug him in a lot of things. He played point guard at Montverde. Actually, he played point guard over Cunningham at Montverde in high school. And I don't know. I hate it. I don't hate it. He's very highly skilled. I had him as my 5th guy on a big board, but I don't hate Scotty Barnes there. I just think it doesn't make sense with OG, Pascal. They just got a lot of stuff at the forward, and this means they're probably trying to keep Kyle.
Or there are reports out there that they really like Malachi Flynn as their point guard of the future, which, you know what? I listen, I was a big Malachi Flynn guy last year. So I think there's a lot of untapped starter potential with Malachi. So I actually like that a lot. But yeah, I think this means that Scotty Barnes might look to play a decent amount of 5 for them. And listen, I didn't get enough evidence on film at Florida State for me to say that, yeah, this guy's going to be a post defender within his first 2 years in the league, but he could surprise us. I mean, he's another one of those guys. Yeah,
he played more
on offense, but in terms of defensively, I'm not going to rule it out for him either. He's obviously a big body guy at 6'8", 6'9" with a 7'3" wingspan.
He's got the body for sure.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think? You were really shocked with Scotty Barnes going there too, and not Mr. Suggs. What do you think?
It's typical Masai. I mean, he in 2014, I got a little back and forth because he took Bruno Caballo, who I thought was just a terrible draft pick. This isn't a terrible draft pick. This is just a surprising one because of the Kyle Lowry situation. I just thought Suggs kind of matched kind of a lot of what Kyle Lowry does, like, just the will, the toughness, the competitiveness that Jalen Suggs plays with. I thought fit what they like. But look, if you truly, I can't really argue against Scotty Barnes. I guess that's my thing. I can't really argue against him because, look, I had him next pick, so it's not really a reach. I get the logic. It's just I was just really shocked because I do think Suggs is going to be a pretty good point guard at the next level. So I was just surprised he didn't take advantage of that situation.
By the way, I think that Jalen Suggs might be happy, not necessarily that he's not going to Toronto, but maybe he's happy because he keeps falling down the board. And it's just like he already called people out already. He's like, listen, I already know I'm not going number 1. I'm not going number 2. Like, these people are going to regret not taking me higher than where I'm going to be drafted. So, like, he just keeps adding teams to the kill list. And Toronto is now one of those 4 teams. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can talk about him for Orlando at number 5. I think everybody pretty much loves it. They think it's a big win. I mean, Brian J. Draft says Magic with 4 point guards and also no point guards. That to me is a little drastic because I love my man Cole Anthony, but
all 4 of them are good players. Maybe you move on from Michael Carter Williams because he's a little bit more expendable now, but all 4 of them could have a really good role on that team.
By the way, Chap, shout out to Chap. He said, y'all are killing this so much better than watching ESPN. We love you, Chap. We will always love you, Chap. He also said he wants Jalen Suggs in OKC. Sorry, Chap, you're not going to get that either. But I'll be really interested to see who gets picked at 6 now. But that's besides the point. I think we have Commissioner Adam Silver announcing Jalen Suggs right now, the Orlando Magic. I think he's going to look good in blue. I'll say that. He's going to look real good in blue. So, listen. We all know how much I love Jalen Suggs. Jordan, I know you love Jalen Suggs. You seem really eager to talk about the fit in Orlando. What do you think about specifically the fit? Because, yeah, they got, regardless of how you feel about some of the guards, they got a lot of them.
Okay, so first off, I can't think of a better off guard with Cole Anthony. Like, I think that the 2 of them together are fantastic. I'm super excited to watch that work. I'm a little worried about the Markelle Fultz thing. They haven't paid him a ton of money, so I don't think it's the end of the world if he comes off the bench. So I think I'm just happy with that. I love the fit with Cole. I just really do. I'm also really excited for this pick. I'm just wow. It's such a good fit. And I think that Suggs has been overlooked being on Gonzaga. I think that people are like, oh, he can't score. That's not true. He was, the 90th percentile in shots off the dribble? He's insane at the way that he can create his own shot. He just didn't have to on Gonzaga. And he also created for other people. He should not have been 5. He shouldn't have fallen. This is fantastic for Orlando. And I think that he's got a lot more upside than people think just because they think he's a safe upside guy. That I think that people don't realize that he's got a higher ceiling than most people are willing to admit.
Well, he did fall though, and that's sort of the beauty of Orlando, just making the pick, even though they have a bunch of guards. Matt, you've seen over the years that like sometimes teams just do take the best player available, regardless of who they have at other positions. So, talk to me about what you think about the fit, as well as that approach to the draft, regardless of your team makeup, just taking the best player available from a historical perspective.
Yeah, well, from the historical perspective, that's the best. That's the best strategy. Anytime you go for need, you always end up jinxing yourself. Nobody complains about having too much talent on a team, but everybody complains about not having enough talent on a team. So, that's. I agree with everything that's said here about Suggs. I had Suggs as the 4th rated player. So to me, he fit a need for Toronto and he fit talent-wise for me. So I'm just shocked that he's there. I think Orlando's got themselves a really good player. I think all you have to do is look at that Baylor game and you see everything you need to know about Jalen Suggs. everybody else on Gonzaga, and let's talk about it. I mean, Gonzaga's got Ayaye, they've got Kispert. Those guys are going to be drafted tonight. Tim A will probably be drafted next year. He was the only guy that did not back down one bit from Baylor. He took them head to head, was not intimidated at all, and he was the only guy. Everybody else kind of, you could tell they regressed. They weren't as, forthcoming with going at those players. But he was like, "Look, bring it." So I think that's just such a rare in itself quality. Look, if I'm Orlando, I'm happy that for whatever reason they viewed Barnes as higher. And that's the beauty of the draft. Somebody's going to be right and somebody's going to be wrong. And in years from now, if Suggs goes on to be the player that we think he will, there will be people that will second guess this decision if Barnes doesn't match him.
Jonathan, talk to me from a coaching type of perspective, because I think the one reason Jordan kind of danced a little bit around it when he said that he liked the fit with Cole Anthony specifically, but you've already seen Cole Anthony like he's in the lab probably as we speak. Like, he doesn't even probably care to watch the draft. He's in the lab working on his game, and Jalen Suggs operates the same way. Like Matt was talking about, his competitive level, his intensity. Like now you have two incredibly hard workers in that backcourt helping build a different culture that Orlando hasn't had for quite a while. Talk about that perspective, because I think that's the most important part of the draft pick.
Absolutely love this, because one, Suggs is big enough you can play him at either backcourt spot, and he's got kind of that Drew Holiday, Kyle Lowry just dog in him. And then, you know what? People worried about his ability to create for himself and others. His number splits are almost identical to Darren Williams as a freshman at Illinois.
Jordan's losing his mind over there.
I can tell we've got something that just happened.
Yeah, we got a surprise pick at number 6.
Josh
Very
Giddey.
Surprise pick. Yeah, Josh Giddey at number 6. Josh Giddey at number 6.
You guys are
Whoa.
This is not real.
Not James
This is not
Bouknight.
real.
Not James Bouknight. It is Josh Giddey, apparently. Unless Shams is wrong. But listen, we all said that even Shams
Woj
can be
just
wrong.
said it too. Woj just said it too. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Well, Woj doesn't say it. I love how Woj tweets sometimes during the draft. He says OKC loves Josh Giddey here.
Right.
So, he doesn't even come out outright and say it. But Matt, you're losing your marbles over there.
I don't understand what they're seeing. I mean, I like Giddey as a prospect. I really do. But to take him this high over guys like Bouknight, Moody, even Kuminga, I just wouldn't do that. That's incredible to me.
I can say, I
just love skinny guys that can pass and not much else.
Well, so here's the thing. This might break our good friend Brett Usher's heart, because he is a big Darius Baisley fan. And if we're going to play Giddey on the floor, his natural position is probably like a 4 or like a 3-4, right? Like that's Baisley. Mm-hmm. So is Giddey coming for Baisley's lunch money? I don't know.
Yeah.
Jordan, talk to me.
Oh man, I don't even know how to process this. Like, I don't understand. I was trying to mentally prepare myself for Giddey falling like out of the lottery, and I was mentally preparing myself to be like, whoever gets Giddey got to steal. I'm not ready. Someone else go. I'm not ready.
What's going on?
Well, Jonathan's up, so talk to me without yelling too loud into the mic. Talk to me.
Oh, sorry. He's hugging people, so it's real. They just I don't get it. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. He's super raw. And I guess Oklahoma City loves being with all these guys that are 2 years away from being 2 years away. Let's honor Bruno Caboclo again. He's already been shouted out once. Won't be the last time I mention him tonight, probably. And they just love these guys that may not be able to contribute right away.
Here's what
Giddey is
happens,
obviously
though. That's
still
the
growing.
thing. If all of these guys hit, talk about the passing they might have in one lineup with Shea. If Poku actually works out, and then you have Giddey, like the passing vision and the size,
Mhm.
the combination of the two
Yeah.
could be unreal for Oklahoma City in the future.
Yeah, Maladon
It-
is also a good passer.
At some point, the Tulsa team is going to be older than the NBA team, right?
I don't understand it. I am so surprised. I
I kind of see it. I see where they're going. Like I think they
He
just
is
want to
the
take
eighth
as many
Australian-born
tall ball
player to be picked in
handlers.
the first round.
They just want to
Yeah.
load up on size, versatility, and passing. I think that they're just trying to create a very smart and versatile basketball environment. And honestly, like if multiple of these guys hit, we're just talking about adding to Sam Presti's Trevor Trove of assets eventually too. Like maybe I don't know, maybe there's something brewing with a few of the assets. Maybe Josh Giddey's a favorite of somebody else. Maybe there's still a trade to be made tonight because they have two other first round picks. These are the
Yeah.
things that we got to ask ourselves. We're so surprised about the pick.
You were wrong
Yeah.
about the draft beginning at 7. It
I was
definitely
wrong.
4, 5, and 6 were definitely surprises.
Yep.
Wow,
Crazy.
this is fantastic. I just
Well,
tweeted out
when you
that
leave us
OKC decided
speechless,
to giddy up.
I mean, when you leave us speechless and we don't even know what to say, I'd say that's pretty fantastic. Some people love it. I guess a lot of people love it, actually. A lot of people love it. And I just saw Justin Lewis on my Twitter feed. He said the Grizz now win because they look at all these players. One of them's going to fall at number 10. Moses Moody, James
Oh, for
Bouknight,
sure.
Jonathan Kuminga, Franz Wagner. One of those four guys is going to end up at 10 to the Grizzlies. So I think if you're a Grizzlies fan who you probably knew coming into this that, yeah, the allure of somebody like a Şengün might be out there, but ideally what they're probably looking for is another wing. You got a pretty good selection of guys right there, but we're waiting for the Golden State pick, I guess, to be announced. I haven't seen
And
anything on
this is
social
the big
media
one.
yet.
This is huge.
This
Golden
is a big
State's
one.
could
going
go.
to take Şengün just to throw us all off,
Yeah.
Oh,
and then Wiseman is going to play the 4 or something. I don't know.
This is
Draymond will play point guard. I don't know.
this is stressful, to be honest.
It's crazy though because I mean, like we think Franz Wagner's the pick here, but there was a lot of giddy buzz for them too. So like
Mhm.
this,
Yeah, and then
this
there was
really
also
throws a lot of the
buzz
draft off.
for- A lot of people think Mitchell here, which I wouldn't draft Mitchell
I think
this
his
high.
stock has fallen. Yeah, his stock has fallen.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
just not measuring at all didn't help. Like,
Of course, you just said that. Watch him get picked next.
I know, right? Every time there's a notification, my heart just starts like beating.
Are the Warriors just going to take? Oh, Jonathan Kuminga's at the top of the board if they keep it.
Ooh.
So James Bouknight was the biggest riser over the last few days, and now he's fallen right back down to
Probably where he
Orlando
needs
at
to
number 8.
be.
Does Orlando take 2 guards in the draft?
Well, if Kuminga's gone, I wonder if Kuminga's gone,
looking-
Orlando's probably upset.
Looking at my board,
I'm
the top of my board.
The pick is in, so it looks like Golden State. I think they're going to keep
Yeah,
the
Golden
pick.
State did
We haven't seen any
Kuminga.
reports that they're trading it, so
They
but
Yeah.
they could still trade
Kuminga?
it.
They could trade it later, but it looks like it's Kuminga, which fits with Wiseman. So it seems like they might be trying to split the difference of competing now and having a future.
I think it's just I think it might just be too much talent to pass up at 7 at the end of the day. I
Yeah,
know we
at
all
the end,
have our
at the end of the
reservations, but
day,
It's a
at
smart
the end
pick.
of the day,
it really
that's
is.
a top. That's a. I mean, I have Kuminga with the top 8 grade. Like it's kind of right where I thought he'd be, but still, that's who you go with, unless you. Yeah, I don't see that as a bad option.
Matt, you're a popular man in this chat. And people keep literally making comments about you. We got Michael Tillery asking you, Matt, did you have Giddy there at
No.
number 6? By your reaction, I know that you didn't, but
No. Let me tell you something. God didn't have Giddy there.
Mm.
oh,
I mean,
what a
look,
draft!
this is the beauty of the draft. Everybody has their different values, but I just have a hard time believing Giddy's the 6th best talent. That's
Yeah. Woj just said that the Warriors are keeping Kuminga.
Okay.
Oh, well. That
Well,
makes
Matt,
sense to me.
you said it makes sense, but you also let off with a little distaste in your mouth right there when you said it too. So we had our reservations about him at 7, but talk to me now that it's going to happen. What do you think?
Well, I think that's the one team that can deal with his work that he's going to need to have done. They have the luxury. He has the luxury of going to a team that doesn't need him. That's the best way I can say that. Like, he doesn't need to come in and be a lottery talent. He can come in and be an understudy and go and develop. And look, Golden State, they do a lot of great things. They're one of the smartest teams in the league. I think he's going to a team where there's a lot of veteran talent there that'll help him on the other side of learning tricks of the trade and professionalism and all these things that we don't really talk about. But I think it's the one spot that his rawness that we've all talked about will not be a detriment, and they can actually take him, develop him, and hopefully get some gold out of him.
If I'm Steve Kerr, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Jonathan. Go ahead.
If I'm Steve Kerr, I am getting Kuminga all the tape I can find by Pascal Siakam and Brandon Clark, and saying, "Go be a big wing for us." And that way, when Draymond slides up to the 5, he can play that 4 really well.
Orlando just took Franz Wagner, but going back to
that's a great pick.
Yes, and I think we'll get there. For my thing with Kuminga, the only thing that I'm worried about is that they don't have veterans there to help him learn to shoot and play defense. So no, like this is great for Kuminga. This is probably the best place he could have landed. I don't know that it's great for the Warriors, but it's great for Kuminga, and so I really like it for him.
Are the Warriors getting a player right now, or are the Santa Cruz Warriors getting a player right now?
I think Santa Cruz is going to get him.
Santa Cruz is getting a player right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
so Franz
considering
Wagner,
some of the great players that have played in the G League, that's not a knock.
No, not a knock at all.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So Franz Wagner, I have not heard Franz mocked to Orlando at all in any situation.
I know, that's like the only team he wasn't mocked to.
Like I had him going 9th.
To the Kings was a very popular pick for him because somebody gave him a promise. Did Orlando? I guess maybe Orlando gave him a promise. I don't know.
I think the Kings were the promise.
I would have thought the Kings were the promise too.
I think they picked him because they didn't expect Scotty and Kuminga to be gone, and they needed a forward, and he's the next forward up.
He's the next guy. He is the next guy.
Man, can you imagine trying to score on Suggs, Franz Wagner, and Jonathan Isaac? Ooh. No, thank you.
And Chuma Okeke could come in, and then if
Bamba
you get
protecting
those long arms of Mo Bamba, that's a lot of hands in the passing lanes.
Here comes Orlando, just stacking basketball players, kind of like what Memphis has done lately. Just bring in guys who are going to be good basketball players. And they got 2 of them in this draft, regardless of the future for Orlando, who they end up keeping at the guard spots. They're at least bringing in really good, solid basketball players at the worst, with potentially pretty high ceilings if it all pans out, especially with Suggs.
Man, I really wish Penny had gone to coach them now, just because he would have been fun. Because Penny always just has high pace.
Are the Grizzlies basically doing backflips because they're either getting Moody or Book Knight? Like,
am I reading a tweet right? Did Perk just compare Kuminga to Jordan Bell? Did that actually happen on live TV? And I missed it? There it is, Big Perk. Say it with your chest, young fella. Say it with your chest.
Carry on.
Yeah, he's literally he has the most serious look at all times when he says this too.
Oh my!
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all we need to say about
And I
that.
thought I was gonna have some stretches with some of my ideas. Oh,
I'm a little depressed. We're not getting more NBA trade noise right
Oh,
now. I'm a little.
it's gonna pick up.
I hope so. I hope so.
usually
There
teams
it
in the
is.
lottery realize they need a lottery talent, and there's usually not going to be a ton of movement here unless it's a team already in the lottery trying to move up or down.
Who's everybody's next guy up that they think needs to be picked? Because I have Sengun, and I'm sure that Nathan's also got Shingun.
I think it's
but-
got to be Şengün right here.
I have Moody, then Şengün.
Yeah, I have Moody. Yeah.
And then Book Knight's
Moody
my
was
third
who I
guy out.
predicted, but I mean, my predictions mock is also like far out the window at this point. So now I just get to talk about who I think should go there, and I would agree it's Şengün. But Moody, yeah, Matt, Moody seems like a likely pick as well. Talk to me about that potential fit if that happens.
Yeah, well, I think what you said earlier, I think you said it does appear Book Knight has slipped a little bit. I do wonder where he's going to go now because I actually thought Book Knight was going to go before Moody. So, right now to me it's Book Knight and Moody who are now we're trying to figure out where they're going to go. Moody, again, I really like the fact how smooth he is and how he just takes his time scoring. And Book Knight, he has a lot of the boxes you check off: athletic, can shoot, can create. Didn't play on a great UConn team, so obviously there was some shot selection that was a little questionable at times. But I really like Wagner. I was not a big Wagner fan. I gotta be honest. I wasn't a big Wagner fan in the initial stages of my evaluation of him. But the more and more I watched him, the more and more I started to really appreciate what he does. And I think he's a great pick.
His defense is almost poetic. I mean, I love his nose for passing lanes. It's just amazing.
So if Book Knight falls to 10 to the Grizzlies, I mean, Memphis has to be looked at as massive winners then at this point.
Or
as a Memphis
Book
area
Knight.
local, as a guy that lives in the Memphis area and goes to games all the time, I'm pumped for either one of those guys. But I wouldn't count out Şengün if he falls because, look, they just got rid of someone who is kind of my comp for him in Valanciunas. And could play that same kind of role.
I know that Adrian Wojnarowski is talking about Buddy Hield and that trade that fell apart on national TV right now. But, does Buddy Hield still get moved tonight? Like, you can't imagine that dude is happy hearing his name, out the door. And now, they got to walk that back big time.
He was about to be like, oh, I'm about to win a whole bunch of games. Oh, man.
Right.
I mean,
one of my buddies who's from Australia, he just texted me. He said, "Giddy."
There it is. Giddy at number 6. Holy shit. Good.
I still don't even know how to process that. This is kind of interesting. I'm really trying to figure out.
Is it Moody? Do they just take Book Knight and say they don't care? Is it Şengün?
Book Knight feels like an overlapping skill set between
Fox.
Oh,
Fox
Mike
and
Schmitz.
Halliburton.
I think Mike Schmitz just made a pitch for Şengün on national TV. There we go.
Did he?
We love to see it. We love to see it.
Watch them just, I don't know. It's the Kings. They're going to pick someone that's not going to fit.
It's the Kings. The Kings will be the Kings at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, so it's going to be like Davion Mitchell or Chris Duarte.
They're going to take
those guys. Which those guys are great to have if you're a piece away, but they need something that'll give them some.
Oh, I think Duarte is the pick at 14 for the Warriors. I think that's being tailor-made set up at this point.
Yeah. Who is it?
It is Davion Mitchell.
Davion Mitchell. There's no way.
Yeah. And that makes
Why?
literally no sense.
That's your biggest area of depth. I don't.
There's got to
I
be a
don't
trade,
know.
right?
Maybe it's a trade.
Maybe it's a
Maybe they-
trade. Maybe it's a trade.
Well, I
There we
literally
go.
just got done
Yeah.
saying they got to move Buddy Hield to this point, right?
Yeah, they've
But even
got to.
then, do you want Fox and Mitchell together?
Yeah, I don't see that.
Oh,
No, you bring Davian off the bench, and then you have Halliburton start. Like that makes sense. Like I think they need to move Buddy regardless because you want Halliburton in that starting lineup. So I don't know.
This draft is
Kings
off
are
the
going to
rails.
king.
This is off the rails.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of those drafts.
This is just one of those drafts.
Kings are going to king.
Matt, talk to me. When
That's how-
was the last time you saw a draft this wild in the top 9 picks?
Anthony Bennett.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Savicini, there you go. This is the first pick that is totally off the board of anything I'd heard. Oh, yeah. Yep.
I think they're drafting for somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah, that has to be
they
a
gotta
trade.
There's
be.
no way.
Because that doesn't make sense long term.
There you go. Mike Schmidt's even saying wow like 4 times. Trying to do his best Bill Simmons impersonation.
Yeah.
And Mike Schmitz was the one who was saying someone was going to get fired for not drafting him top 10.
Well, somebody might get fired for drafting him top 10. So
Yeah.
there you go.
I said on Twitter that if I'm in a draft war room and someone brings up Davion Mitchell in the top 10, I'm firing him on the spot.
Oh, this is
I
crazy.
can't
don't know
wait
what
for
to do.
Perks comp for Davion Mitchell. I can't
Oh,
wait.
Wait,
Let's cue that up.
I'm gonna guess because it's gonna be really bad.
It's gonna be
It's-
really bad.
It's gonna
We'll
be
be
a
like
Like
forward.
Jordan Bell in the top 10, so it's gonna be really bad.
He's
It's gonna be a
Baron
forward.
Davis.
Baron Davis. Oh.
The exact opposite of what Davion Mitchell is. A guard who plays all offense, no defense. That's got to be the comp, right?
Yeah.
Gotta be.
So like, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, that
Oh,
might be it.
Breaking news. Max Scherzer is also going to Los Angeles in the momentous trade. I don't even know who that is.
That's a baseball
That's
reference.
a baseball reference, Jordan.
Jordan,
Oh,
pretend
okay.
pretend like you know other sports for a second. Come on, man.
I don't. I literally
It's
don't
a
watch any
baseball
other
reference,
sports.
Like he's been the big guy that's supposed to move at the deadline for like the last
Gotcha.
week that people have been talking about.
Gotcha.
Rafael Barlow, Mitchell to Sacramento makes 0 sense unless there's a package deal. We're all in agreement there. It's got to be they got to be drafted for somebody else. This has to be James Bouknight at 10. I'd be shocked if it wasn't James Bouknight.
Or
I'd be
Moody.
shocked.
But then again, I mean, I just shat my pants on the live stream with Davion Mitchell going at 9. So, I mean,
I think
Why
it's
not?
either
Memphis-
to me it's Giddy or Moody or Shingun.
Yeah.
Chap, they'll
Whew.
take Keon. Yeah, Keon might be a pick for Memphis. I could see that.
Got to go all the way
Mitchell
down.
is the
like-
fourth oldest first round pick ever.
Is that right?
Memphis is taking Zaire Williams.
Matt, you just let somebody steal your thunder, man. Come on, you just let
He
Jonathan
did.
steal your thunder.
did. Look, I give it up, man.
So Memphis just took Zaire Williams at 10.
That's a good pick.
What?
I don't think
no,
that's a good pick.
'cause- No, I do because Memphis always takes these guys that it's a Memphis pick. It's a Memphis pick. If that makes
Tyre
sense.
Williams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it from the Memphis mindset.
Oh my gosh, this draft's gonna give me a heart
That's-
attack by the time it's
That's
all
a
said and
horrible
done.
pick, man.
I agree. Not when Moody's there.
Oh.
Moody gives you the same upside. Like if
Oh.
Moody was gone, I could see that.
Yeah,
If-
in my brain,
don't know about same
Moody should have
upside.
already gone. I totally blanked that Moody's still on the board. That's a terrible pick.
I don't know about same upside. I don't know. Zaire Williams, in theory, has a higher
Zaire
upside.
Williams.
He has a scarier floor, though. He does have a scarier
He has a
floor.
really scary floor. Really scary floor. I think he's a really good other wing in that
I'm
depth
about to
because
go crack
wing is
this
where they
Scotch
lost
open.
a lot of depth. They lost a lot of depth in the wing spot that can play the 2 or the 3 because outside of Brooks, you don't have a guy that can guard multiple positions on the wing.
Michael Tillery, I
Zaire
agree, I
guard?
agree with you, man. The guy just comments in the chat, Laud, LOL. I agree with you, man. I agree. This draft's off the rails. Chap said that the Keon thing was in reference to Sacramento. Clearly, they didn't take Keon. They took Davion Mitchell. So
what is going on?
Chat, me and you, my man, as well as everyone on this stream, we cannot predict what's going to happen. We clearly are terrible at our jobs. We should not be prognosticators in any sense of the word.
Okay,
All right,
but for Charlotte, like it's got to be. I have no clue. I don't want to call anyone. Well, no, I said Davion. I said they were going to choose the wrong guy, and I said Davion.
Matt looks
So,
like he needs a smoke and a beer. Like Matt doesn't know where he is right now.
I don't have no clue where I'm at. I mean,
Matt
what?
is going to have his work cut out for him trying to figure out what was going on in all these picks as a draft
Yeah.
historian. I do not envy you one bit right now.
Your
Well, even
reaction
he-
video is going to be fire.
Look
on
at his
Facebook.
face. Even he is like, what? Word? Thank you.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god. Yeah.
Even he, when you see the player's face or something like that, you know, even he's like, really? Look, his mom is
sure?
even like, wow, God is good. You right. He just answered some prayers there. Wow.
Wait, they moved up to take Zach. Ooh.
Nick HD 56.
Yeah.
This draft is
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. This draft is That's exactly
Now, let me
that's
ask you
exactly
this.
it.
The Zaire Williams guys, that people like Zaire Williams. What is the one thing he has right now that's an NBA skill?
He's tall.
That's
No,
about it.
He's a Jay Billis guy. Jay Billis loves this pick, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he's got the wingspan.
Wingspan.
Yeah,
No,
guys,
but
I got to read this one. So Chap
Go ahead.
gave us a quote from one of our overstated NBA guys, Court DeFoya. Court says Davion Mitchell is who Marcus Smart thinks he is.
Huh.
Except he's like way smaller.
Oh, yeah, I had to read that one on air, Chap. Absolutely. I had to do it.
That's
Shout out to the culture. Anyways, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't like. I love the idea of him where they were picking originally.
I don't
Like-
understand trading up for.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, like this draft has gone off the rails. This is about as unprofessional as it gets right now. I don't give a shit. Everybody just whip out your alcoholic beverages. Like, at this point, like, let's structure's out the window at this point. This is
Hey,
off the
at
rails.
this
Let's just
point-
have a good time.
At this
Let's just
point,
have a
one
good
of my
time.
favorites in this draft, Josh Christopher. I'm just gonna say it right now, he's gonna go next. Why not?
Let's go.
I love
Let's get Josh
Christopher. I love Christopher.
Let's go.
Christopher
Let's
and
go.
Book Knight. Christopher and Book Knight, I feel like are very similar guys. I like both of them.
I
in
mean,
that.
this is.
We're just leaning
Zaire
back in the
Williams
chair
is
right now.
10.
Like it doesn't even matter anymore. Like this draft is what it is. Like we're just chilling.
I haven't seen people who like Zaire Williams put him 10. That's the thing that are high on him.
Chat,
Is this a dream?
If you're
Like-
still watching,
I
chat,
thought I
tell
was
everyone
high
to
on
join
him, and
the
I had him
stream.
like 15.
Yeah. If you asked his mother to do a mock, he would not put him 10th. This is crazy. And she loves him.
God bless everyone trying to do a studio show right now because that's the type of format that I wanted to have here. But like this is so wild. Like there's the God bless everyone trying to do a studio show with Perk throwing out Jordan Bell comps, with the draft order going the way that it is. Like I can't keep a straight face through any of this. Like God bless anyone trying to do a studio show.
I can't keep a straight face anytime Perk talks. So you know.
Carry on, carry the hell on. Shout out to you, Big Kirk.
Perk
We
also said that
Big Kirk. I
he
love
is
Kirk.
betting his house on the Lakers winning a championship after
He did. He
Westbrook.
did say that. He did say that. Listen,
I'll
I
take
want
that.
Kirk's house. Can we get on that bet?
Yeah.
Perk's got a big house. Like
I need a house. I just need a house. So like, I'll get in on that bet.
I just bought a house. It's you want to switch tiny houses? You know, you can take my tiny house in the middle of the Mississippi Delta. Perk, if I'm wrong.
This is crazy.
You don't have anything yet for number 11.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So
but
at what
it's
point
coming.
does Dallas just decide to trade for Book Night since he's dropped this far?
Anybody who says that Zaire Williams is a steal of the draft right now, listen, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I really
I'm
hope
seeing
you're
a
right.
lot of Zaire love on Twitter, and I'm really confused because they were not saying this an
They
hour and
were
a half ago.
quiet.
I like Zaire. I thought I was high on Zaire, and I'm still shocked.
I love Zaire a lot more at 17 than 10. But
Yes,
I mean, we might be wrong
exactly.
about that
Yeah.
in 3 years, so who knows? He
But
is a
he
home
was
run
also
swing, Tyler
hurt.
Metcalf. He is a home run swing.
And he was also hurt, so he didn't get to show a whole lot.
And
just
like
don't-
Stanford couldn't practice; they didn't even have a practice gym. So there was a lot going on for him,
Hey.
but still.
John Rothstein said on Twitter, Memphis' decision to take Zaire Williams over James Bouknight is riskier than Robert De Niro's decision to marry Sharon Stone in Casino. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This draft is off the rails. Chap. Yeah, I told you to tell everybody to join the stream if they're watching somewhere else. Like, I want comments in here. I want craziness. I want all of it. I'm sitting back in the chair. I'm relaxing. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore.
At this point, Jared Butler's going to fall to the Clippers, so Chap should
Charlotte
just be
takes James Bouknight.
Okay, that's a
I
great pick.
love that
That's a-
fit with LaMelo.
That's
that
value
is
at
a-
this point.
Brilliant.
That's a brilliant pick.
Finally, somebody got the memo on how to draft.
What's funny
Chef's
though is
kiss
if
right
we'll
there.
look back in like 3 years and Matt's got to eat a little bit of crow for saying that, but no, we might only need some crow for saying that.
Look, man.
I love that.
I'm
pick.
still waiting for Bruno Caballo to prove me wrong. That's all.
I don't
So-
think that's ever gonna happen. So you're safe on that one.
I considered myself someone who was low on Bouknight. I had Bouknight 12 overall, and so
Book and Mello is gonna be awesome. What do you guys think
That is-
about that fit?
fantastic.
Oh, I love it.
Book is also a really underrated springy athlete going for lobs.
Yep.
So Melo getting to throw lobs to Bridges and now Book when they're running that wing. That's a fun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
DJ.
See,
Having
I
Plumlee
mean,
be a
they
backup
need
center
a
to
big
Zeller.
man. They need a better big man, but at the end of the day, like, you just got to take the best player available at this point, and
I'm
to
not-
me, that is Book Night.
I think if you put Plumlee and Zeller together, I think you're fine on bigs. I don't think it's too bad.
I
and,
love reading all of Woj's tweets through all of this. That should be like a yearly like joy to be able to read. So Charlotte gets a surprise at 11. James Bouknight's available. Yeah, that's a surprise, all right.
That's beyond a
So
surprise.
we're on the Spurs. And there is
Yeah.
someone who should
Yeah, Şengün. It's got to be Şengün.
Oh.
Şengün,
Please.
please.
It's got to be Alperen Şengün. If it's Corey
He-
Kispert, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked, but it's going to be really
Moses
boring.
Moody.
Could be
Moses
Moody.
Moody. Yeah.
Jalen
They need a-
Johnson.
Ooh, Jalen Johnson would be a good
But I
fit
would-
there
Hey,
because
please be Şengün though.
I know they might want to do Jalen Johnson because that's resigning that DeMar's leaving.
Yeah, I had Şengün going 11, so he's about due. Oh, man.
Mm.
I still can't believe that Bouknight fell this far and that Moody's still here.
At this point, I'm about to say Isaiah Todd's going here.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
I love Isaiah Todd. I love Isaiah Todd, but
Do not tempt me with a good time. Let's get the Isaiah Todd train rolling sooner rather than later. That's all I gotta say.
Kai Jones, it's gonna be one of these just big swings for it.
Man, I don't even.
Yeah, but I could see somebody like Kispert though. I mean, Kispert might just be like, I want an adult in the room. Let's just bring in Kispert. You know what I mean? Like Pop might just be tired of bringing in the developmental projects.
Also, Kispert kind of plays a position of need. They need some more forward depth too. So, and it really takes a certain type of personality to play for Pop. We're seeing that with the Olympics. And so I wouldn't be surprised at all if a lot of this gets made based on interviews and stuff, and it might be someone a little surprising.
Garuba could be another pick
Pop
here.
has left?
Ooh, Garuba would be good. They do need a 4.
I think Pop maybe 3 years tops. I don't think he's got much left.
Yeah. I think he wants to get back to the playoffs and then probably call it.
I think the front office restructuring was kind of a.
Can we get a terrible book night comp from Perk? Did Perk give his comp yet? He's like sitting back in his chair, like listening to Jay Billis. Like I'm just like waiting. It looks like the gears are turning in his head for some awful comp.
I'm gonna say Gerald Green.
That's probably better than what Perk would say.
I have he's in that kind of. He's a slashy, streaky scorer that loves to shoot, and so kind of in that. And he's also got some springs. So kind of in that, if we're wanting what I hope is a good comp, that Zach LaVine, J.R. Smith mold of a guy that just wants to score and is going to play really well. I love Book Night.
That's a high end situation for him, though, in my opinion. That's like dad. That's like I've compared him to a souped up Gary Harris, is what I've called him for quite a while.
I mean, and I'm talking about that's the type of sets you run for him.
Yep.
Not necessarily that's the outcome he's going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But
come on, we got nothing for the Spurs yet. Come on, guys. Where's the pick?
This is crazy.
Teams are like actually having to make legitimately hard decisions now because of where the draft went. They're going to take all the time on the clock.
Well,
Matt,
maybe
we've said a bunch of names. If you were the Spurs right now,
I have a lottery grade on that's just not going to get drafted at this point, right? This is Christian Wood all over again. I had Christian Wood as a lottery talent coming out that year, and he didn't get drafted.
Matt, who's your pick right now? If you were the Spurs, who's your pick?
I would probably take Sengun or Moody. Be between those two. I think they're the best talent left at that spot. Obviously, I think Sengun.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on Sengun, right?
I have Sengun and Moody as top 10 grades, both of them.
Yeah.
So
I have 3 top 10 guys left, but
who's your other guy?
I have Sengun, Jalen Johnson, and Jared Butler are my 3 top 10 guys that are left.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
So I
kind of knew that Jared Butler was going to fall, but yeah, I agree with you. He was a very high grade for me. I mocked him as high as number 7 to Golden State.
But
Golden State was
was 10. So sorry, Garuba was 10, so I have 4 technically. So, but I was lower on some of the guys who have gone way high.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I keep hitting refresh on Twitter.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm doing right now.
I think we all are at this point. We're all just looking down at our phones. We don't even know what to say at this point. I have no words left. This is astonishing to me.
Yeah.
At this point,
you have
Josh Primo?
What?
No, there's no way.
Yeah,
There's no way. They're selecting Josh Primo number 12.
I'm about to go get drunk if they.
Well, listen. Matt, you had a picture on Facebook before you came on here of like a glass of scotch or something brown poured out in a cup. You might need it. Time to go get that something brown in a cup.
I
Josh
had Josh
Primo,
Primo as
number
a second
12.
rounder.
Come on, what is going on here,
I had him as an early second.
I had him at 31.
bro? What are these guys doing in this room, dog? Are they smoking? As
Oh,
we
so I was
become,
about to ask.
as we
Are we
become
going to come back
more
tomorrow and
into
they're going to be
that
like,
offense-
psych, here's the real draft?
I mean, what is going on here?
Chap said Moses Moody to the Clips, call it in. At this point, Chap, like, yeah, Moses Moody might fall to 25.
Dude, Josh Primo?
What just happened?
Bro, I need somebody to call me. Somebody from the NBA office got to call me. I need to know if this is real.
Is this April Fool's?
At this
Like,
point-
did they move April Fool's?
At this point, Luca Garza is going soon, okay?
Luca Garza lottery pick? Can we make it happen?
It just might be. This is insane.
I've lost all ability to provide objective analysis. this draft.
It's off. And
Have you
back
ever-
to back to back ever.
Oh.
Matt, I want to see you like go leave the set quick and come back and just like take a shot on air. Like I just want to see it at this point.
I
Have you
think
ever,
I think I'm gonna give you that.
Go ahead. I give you
ever
full
seen-
permission to
He's
count a
going
couple
for it.
shots.
Sure.
Go ahead. He's going for it. Joshua Primo.
Indiana drafts Chris Duarte at 13. But why? Why would you draft Duarte before Moody? I don't. But why?
Because the darkest timeline.
Wait, is that the pick for Indiana, Chris Duarte?
That is the
What is going
for
on?
Moody.
Have you guys ever watched a car crash in real life?
here's the-
It's the same feeling.
Oh, come on, get it
Matt, you
ready.
missed it.
Stuff.
You
What
missed
are,
it.
what are we advertising, Matt? What are we sponsoring on today's podcast?
Johnny Walker Blue Label.
Johnny Walker. There we go. Shout out to Johnny Walker if you want to
Shout out to
sponsor the
Johnny.
Draft Deeper. If you want to sponsor
Before-
the Draft Deeper podcast.
Yeah.
I'm only gonna pour
Hey,
a little bit because too much.
Yeah.
I would be no good. Like I'm already not there. I'm already there anyways. You know what I mean? So,
I'm already there anyways.
so here you go.
There it
This
is. Cheers.
the NBA teams that want to drive us crazy with these crazy picks. So bottoms up.
Chap, tell everybody if they're not watching the live stream, tell them we just had Matt Maurer take a shot or half a shot on our live stream. This is made for the overstated show at this point.
Yeah, that's scotch. You can't take scotch full, man. That's,
No.
Whew. It's good,
Matt,
though.
I don't know if you noticed, but they just announced 13 is Duarte.
Yep.
I mean,
Matt's gonna have a stroke
Did
by the
Moody
time this is
kill
all said and
someone?
done.
Has Moses Moody murdered someone, and we're just gonna find out tomorrow.
yeah. What is going on?
Well, it's really funny because there's there's Moody Mafia. That's like this fun phrase to
I gotta
say
get
about
my
him. Like,
battery for my phone.
does Moody
I don't
have his own
understand.
mafia?
I don't. How?
You know, I
don't
expected
understand,
Kai
guys.
Jones to go higher than he should, and he hasn't gone yet. I think that's the biggest surprise to me right now is all of these people getting drafted way early, and no one's taking Kai Jones.
Or Sharif Cooper, or neither of the Tennessee guys have gone early. Like, I don't.
Here's the thing, like some of those people though that like I would have projected to go like later in the first round than earlier. But
Mhm.
the Josh Primo pick, yeah, that and
Primo
listen,
and Zaire are crazy.
I might have been one of the first people to come out and say that Josh Primo is like a lock to be a first round pick. I said that like months and months ago. I would never have said he was going to be a lottery pick.
Well, hey. I don't. Wow. I just.
I was all set for a serious night of us just breaking down prospects.
Yeah, the seriousness is out the window. I hope we've turned into the most fun draft stream that you can find on social media at this point, because I feel like we are.
We took it more seriously than the NBA GMs did.
Jonathan came in yelling into his microphone from the first minute of the show. Jordan was ready to go with an Arkansas polo, cheering for Moses Moody, who hasn't been drafted yet. Matt's doing Johnny Walker live on the stream. Like, we're ready to go. We are the most fun. Seriously, subscribe to the Draft Deeper podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I promise I'll be more objective on the podcast when I record a reaction pod later tonight. Which, by the way, when I told myself I was going to do a reactions pod, guys, I did not expect to go through almost every single pick in the draft. And now I feel like I got to go through every pick in the draft. Oh my God, what's Perk's comp for Josh? Perk didn't even probably expect to be given a Josh Primo comp, and now he's gonna give one live on TV.
They're about to go to him, and he's gonna
be like Michael Jordan.
I'm just waiting for Perk to go. Who?
RB Moody will be a Pelican. Yeah, that's in play. That's only like 4 picks away, 3 picks away, because we know Duarte, but that's in play.
Yeah, I'm wondering who the Warriors go here. Do they go NBA ready, or do they draft somebody else?
Luka Garza.
The way this is going, it's going to be Garza.
Matt, what's like well, not in all seriousness, in a little bit of seriousness. What's like what at this point, we already saw Primo rise up from who many have locked back end of the first to lottery. Is there another guy in the back end of the first in your mind thinking who could like make a jump like that at this point? That we can get 2 of them?
At this point, JT Thor. I mean, what's to stop it? I mean, I thought Primo, I had him, I think, going 26, 25. I didn't have him this high. I mean, everybody's moving up pretty high. Zaire Williams, I had going 19. He goes 10th. I mean, the way that this board is looking right now, I can see JT Thor coming up soon.
If we get a Ben Simmons trade, I might just like stop the live show at that point. Like I'll be like so far gone.
Allow me to plug. Just allow me to plug the guy that Nathan and Jordan and I probably disagree on the most. Greg Brown.
Oh, if Greg Brown goes first round at this point, I guess it's for the culture.
Look,
Send it for the culture.
For the culture.
For the memes.
Send it.
Are they seriously? I think they're making picks for memes right now. Like everyone was like, this year sucked. The bubble was weird. The bubble last year was weird. This year stunk with no fans in the arenas. We're making memes on draft night.
Listen,
like watch Josh Primo win Rookie of the Year though, and we all have to eat crow. Like,
I don't know if I'd eat crow because I am still a Josh Primo guy. I don't know how much crow that would be on my plate, but
it's true.
I know his dad is probably ecstatic. I was talking to his dad at different points on Twitter. Not to shout out all of my DMs that I have on Twitter. I have a few fun DM contacts on Twitter that I've been able to make, but his dad was ecstatic that he was getting first round buzz. He was proud of how he was doing in workouts and the lottery pick. Shout out to the Primo family. Well done. Yeah. Moses Moody at 14.
Yes. That's a fantastic pick for the Warriors. I thought that should have been their pick at 7.
All right, so we made a pick that we can all agree on. The Warriors did. So I guess Matt can stop drinking the Johnny Walker now. We finally agree on a pick.
All
so
right, I'll put it to the side there.
You can put it to the side for now. All right.
Good pick. I like that.
Finally a good pick.
Let's be serious here.
So Moses Moody at 14 then.
Yeah.
Jordan, you were the first one to shout it out. What do you think?
I think it's a fantastic pick. I think
does he play right away next year?
I think so. I think he comes off the bench.
Yeah.
But I think he plays right away. I think he's going to be Clay's backup.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe back up Wiggins a little bit too.
If Achilles tendon rehabs tell us anything, he's going to play a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think he fits exactly what Golden State wants to do on both offense and defense. So I think he doesn't have, the most insane upside, but he's got good upside and he's got a good floor. And so
If
I just
Jared
think this
Butler
is a
keeps
solid pick.
falling, shout out to Jared Butler. You're going to be picked by a good team at this point. You're going to be picked
Yeah.
by a contender.
Go be John Wall's backup.
And let me just say this too. I think we all have watched this draft unfold, done multiple drafts. I get irritated when people say the draft doesn't work. The draft does work for smart teams. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't do the homework, the Warriors are in a great position because they got a guy coming in who plays a very similar role to Clay, and they can put Clay in a better position to rehab, more time off the court, and just continuing to get that muscle straight. Moody is a top 10 talent, and they took him 14. So I just think that's just the difference.
Moody, they get Kuminga and Moody, so they get their person who can help them now, and the guy with the great potential. It's just, and they did it because everybody else around them messed up. It's just fantastic.
What I will say, we do have to bring it back on the rails a little bit because everybody thought that the Suns were nuts for taking Cam Johnson when they did. And
That's true.
Cam Johnson helped Phoenix in many different ways throughout the season and even in the playoffs. So let's pump the brakes a little bit.
You know who didn't, though? Jalen Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, my Cam Johnson take wasn't that he was a bad pick. My Cam Johnson take was if the market is saying that a guy is lower than what you and your scouts say, I'm saying take advantage of the market. Trade down.
Trade back.
Get more assets. Get more things you can use for your team, and then take the guy you want. Yeah, Cam Johnson 12 doesn't look that bad right now because he's playing well. He's done well. Let's be honest. He's played very well. But if they would have dropped down to say 15 and took him, and maybe got some more draft picks, maybe got some different players, maybe they could have put in there. I'm just saying, take advantage of the market. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but then the Kings could have taken him ninth. I said, but then the Kings could have taken him ninth, like Davion Mitchell.
Well, you're right about that. You're right about that. But that draft was a little bit more normal.
That's true. Honestly, I go back to the Cam Johnson draft, and that was the last time I was that surprised during an entire draft because there was picks from 6 to 21 in that draft. I was just scratching my head a whole bunch, and now we get to this one. But I think, guys, and I'll pass this. Jordan, I'll let you go first. But before we do 15, I just want to talk about this a little bit. I think there's a little bit of a pattern that's developing here. And I think that if you are, contrary to my opinion, if you're over a certain height and you can pass the basketball, that seems to be what's being drafted right now, very high in the lottery. Mm-hmm. That seems to be a common thing. These bigger or oversized playmakers.
Other than the best big passer, but yeah. So, at 15, we now have Corey Kispert going to the Wizards. I don't hate that pick.
No,
I wouldn't have picked it, but I don't hate that pick. That's a sensible pick where someone actually did something with logic. So I don't hate that pick.
But there's no plan. They just traded Westbrook for assets.
Beal says he wants to stay.
No, there's no real plan except Brad, what do you want at this point?
Shout out to the overstated account hopping on the stream. Moody and Book Night feel like steals. Yes, they are definitely steals. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
The rich get richer, as they always do in every single NBA draft. They always take advantage of the situation.
This is the first time that the Spurs have made a pick that I can like just remember back and be like, oh, I don't love that pick. And so the Warriors have had like I've loved their picks. I don't know. I'm just a little. There's been some head scratching moves here.
We're all shell
that I
shocked.
just, yeah.
I'm trying to talk myself into Christian Wood moving back to 4 for Sengun at this point. At 2023.
Yeah, where does
I mean,
Şengün
he's
fall?
there.
That's a great question.
OKC, I've heard.
It's
loves
got to
him.
be OKC. It has to be
Yeah.
OKC.
I mean,
One of the
they
two
love
picks.
tall guys that can pass. Obviously, they just took Giddey.
Oh man, Giddy, Şengün, SGA, Poku. What
And
a
Maladon
Baisley.
collection of talent. What a collection of talent. I'm flabbergasted. Guys, I'm gonna be right back. Keep the conversation going without me.
So Kispert just goes, who's got 16? I gotta
OKC.
flip back. So OKC. Okay, that could be a Şengün. That could be a
Jalen
Keon
Johnson would
Johnson.
fit here.
Keon
Johnson would fit.
Ooh,
Jalen
Keon
Johnson would fit.
what they want to do.
Garuba would fit. Somebody's got
Yeah.
to play defense on that team.
Somebody's
Yeah.
got to play defense on that team. Yeah.
Kai Jones would fit. They like their long
ooh,
athletes, you know.
Look,
Yeah,
if Kai Jones goes before Şengün, I might have to take a lap of just to collect myself. Oh, I love the Terrence Clark tribute. We love that.
Yeah.
Into
They
the
just did
lottery.
it?
Yeah, just doing a Terrence Clark tribute right now. That's one of the biggest tragedies in our sport.
Yeah.
I love Terrence Clark. I had him pretty highly rated. I mean, who knows what would have happened if he was actually in this draft with that. But again, another tragedy there.
Yeah. Wow.
I've really enjoyed the way that Commissioner Silver has taken some initiative in these situations, be it this tragedy or something mildly less tragic but still bad with the Marfan syndrome. That what was his name? The Isaiah Austin with that situation. These honorary draft picks. I think this is a really good thing for the league to do and take notice of.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for Şengün OKC. I agree. I 100% agree. I hope that's a pick.
Yeah. There's a lot of good picks because
Wow, look at
didn't go
this.
early.
Look at this. They're celebrating Terrence Clark.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Prayers up for that family.
Yeah.
For everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just, ugh. Man. I'm glad that the NBA's.
Also, shout out to Woj and Shams for not tweeting during this.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Because you know that got info.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't belong spoiling that. Not at all. I think even the stream understands just trying to take a little bit of this moment in what this means for the league. I was hoping the league would do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
They did this for Isaiah Austin too.
Yeah, and then Coach Cal tweeted that he hoped something would be done like this.
Yep.
Today as well. So good on the league for this.
Yeah.
All the speculation still holding that Cam Thomas is probably going to go to the Hawks.
Who knows?
Cam Thomas.
Yeah, that's been a
Could be.
popular mock.
I know that the Hawks were thinking about trading 20 and 20 and Reddish to move up, but it's getting a little too late to move up.
Why are you going to need to move up? Everyone's dropping.
What's the most
True.
popular thing that everybody always says? Don't trust a word that people tell you leading up to the draft.
Yep.
None of the
All
media
the
mocks
smoke
are getting
screens.
it right. None of them are getting it right.
None of them.
Yep.
always
Man, I
love
was
hearing
told
about
that
the
Giddy
promises.
was starting to slide, and he went higher than his range.
Yeah, and then there's that. What is it? Io DeSumo he has like a top 20 promise of some sort. Like
Apparently.
It was supposed to be 22 to the Lakers, and the Lakers traded that pick. So
yeah.
Well, at this point, I would assume it could go top 20. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked by anything anymore.
No, not this kind of day. No.
All right. Luka Garza going first round would still shock me a little bit.
Alex that's in Akimbo. That'll surprise me.
That would shock. Yeah, that would shock me too.
is he actually in the draft? I could never figure that out.
Yeah, I'll tell you how that happened. I actually looked
draft
too.
historian.
Yeah, well, because somebody was talking about like he was working out, and I'm like, how he didn't declare for the draft? But apparently, if you are in high school and then you play professionally, I guess there's like this new law that you don't have to declare for the draft technically, unless you're like a prep school kid or something like that. So he was a 4-year high school kid, and then he went pro, which made him automatically eligible. I think that's
OKC is trading 16.
They're trading 16.
Yeah, well, it's just very helpful by not saying to who. Oh, to Houston.
Thanks, Woj.
To Houston?
Yeah,
So the Rockets.
Shams.
Shingun.
Yeah, so
Shingun. Twin Towers it. Come on.
either that
so
or a point
Woj
guard.
says Oklahoma City is trading the 16th pick per source, and that's it. And then Sham says OKC is trading 16 to Houston. One of those is, and Rockets are taking Shingun.
Is that right?
Is that happening?
Guys,
That's what
we're
Shams
a
just
playoff team. We're a playoff team. We're a playoff team.
That's
I
a
am.
great pick.
That's a fantastic draft. Green and Shingun.
Man, that's an A+ right there.
All right. Okay. I'm back.
I wonder if they traded both 23 and 24 for it.
Probably.
This is
Look,
wild. So Shengun
when
and
someone-
Mobley. That's wild. That's absolutely wild.
No, it would be Shingun and Wood.
Would.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. My bad. Shengun
It's
and Wood.
okay.
So-
Crazier things have happened this draft.
Yeah, my mind's all scrambled, guys. I'm sorry. My mind's all scrambled. This draft is off the rails. We've said it.
Yeah.
This is better than I ever could have imagined for Houston.
Yeah.
I really wonder what they traded.
They're working it like pros in here.
Did we trade John
Shingun,
Wall?
Wood, Kevin Porter, and Jalen Green. Like, that
And
is a
then you've
fantastic.
got KJ Martin or Jay Sean Tate to
Yeah.
play that last starter spot.
Well, unless one of those
Unless
people
John
was
Wall-
traded.
Where did y'all have Primo on y'all's big boards? Asked by the overstated. That's a great question because
31.
Let me look at what my grade. I gave a range grade. I didn't have him on a big board. Let me scroll. It's way down here, I can tell you that. I have him late first. So that's all I have. So I gotta go walk in happiness. I'll be back.
he's gonna go take a walk. I think we all had to take a walk at some point. This
Yeah,
draft is
Crazy.
I had Josh Primo 33rd on my big board.
so 2 people in the 30s. I would have certainly had him in the back end of the first. He's lottery. Shengun. Looks like he's being
I had
drafted.
top 5. Yeah.
Şengün's being drafted at 16. Jared Butler's still falling.
Yeah.
The sky
I
is
can't believe-
falling for Draft Deeper.
Butler and Garuba and Jalen Johnson are the 3 top 10 guys that I still have. So, but I expected Jalen Johnson and Butler to fall because of the whole off court and then the health issue.
This is wild.
And I had Primo as the 10th ranked shooting guard.
Jonathan left just a tweet. And what did he tweet specifically? Let's go. But there's an R in there. So, because he's typing so fast,
We'll grab some
He's
water
freaking
real
out.
quick.
Houston is sending 2 future first round picks for number 16. So they're also keeping 23 and 24.
I was trying to look on social media. That's why I was quiet. I was looking for the trade details.
Wow. Houston, wow.
Well,
that's
NBA,
wow.
you bombed my live stream because I just have no more words left for anything. They bombed it.
Oh man. Houston traded 2 future first for 16. So they still have 23 and 24.
Can I just say this?
They're making all the draft picks.
After a decade of draft picks being completely given away, beyond that, like to watch Nick Batum and Rudy Gay be given away for basically nothing. Now we're keeping picks, and it's this. Like 2 of my favorite players in this draft.
Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün.
You got 2 more picks coming up.
You
might
got 2 more picks.
Garuba. You might get Garuba.
Garuba, Isaiah Todd.
This is wild.
You know, obviously we've been burned in the draft before. Here's Woj talking about the trade. Just
Yeah, the pick's on the move again. You're right.
uh-oh.
It's unbelievable, dude. OKC just keeps adding more stupid draft picks. Unbelievable.
Yep.
What's the point? I don't. At some point, that hits diminishing returns, doesn't it? Like, and I get you want as many shots at it as possible, but
I just don't know who the star is that they're going to trade for.
Well, apparently Ben Simmons, requires like every draft pick for the entire future of your franchise. You also have to trade 2
Oklahoma City going to
All-Stars.
trade like 19 of these picks to Philly?
Rockets gave up future first-round picks owed by Wizards and Pistons to get number 16.
So ones that we're never going to convey anyway.
Probably.
In theory, probably. To be perfectly honest with everyone.
I'm going to cry. I mean,
yeah, Houston's getting tremendous value. They're talk about like swinging for the fences. I mean, Şengün, after I've talked about this multiple times in the podcast, after the first like 5 guys, to me he had like the highest upside out of anybody else. Like you're swinging, but if you're swinging,
we have the best starting lineup in the division.
No. Okay, calm down.
Yeah, Jonathan, you're going to need to calm down a little bit. The Rockets are not going to the playoffs next year.
Yes, they are.
They're not.
Play in.
Listen, I love everything that they're doing too. They got 2 of my favorite guys.
Just let me have this just once. Look, we've been in the lottery 2 times in my life.
Put that propaganda on your Twitter where it belongs, Jonathan.
Fire
up the Twitter
2 times in my life. So let me have this one.
Matt, what do you think, man? Şengün at 16 for 2 picks that they probably were never going to make anyways.
No, I think he's the best value on the board. I had him going. Where did I have him going? I had him going 11th. I mean, it's a dream scenario for them. It really is.
I had him 8th.
Okay. Yeah, but right around close, pretty close.
I
And
mean,
you
Yeah,
get him at
I had him at 5,
16?
so it's fantastic.
I don't care what
Who-
anybody says. That's a big boy. That is a
Who's
big
still
man.
sliding? Who's still sliding that we had going earlier?
Butler, Johnson, Garuba, Kai Jones. Those are the ones that have really slidden. Then you've
Yeah.
got Keon and Springer.
Keon Johnson, yes.
Deion Johnson has fallen. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the pick at number 17 for New Orleans. That would not shock
that'd
me.
be good. I think New Orleans is gonna want. I want to see what they're doing because that tells me if they're gonna try to look at that 360 dunk from that gorgeous move, and then the spin move here. Oh, they're doing
Gorgeous.
highlights. Sorry. Oh, it's just. I'm sorry. That is a coach's dream right there to have a big that can do that.
David Savage, what's up, my man? What's going on? Thank you for coming to the stream. Thank you for everyone, by the way. We've had a very
Yes.
consistent viewership this entire time, so we appreciate everybody sticking around with us. When is my guy Todd gonna get picked? I'm assuming this is Brett operating the overstated at this point. It has to be Brett. When is Todd gonna get picked? Christ if I know, Brett. I don't know when he's gonna get picked.
23 to Houston. 23 to
Primo
Houston.
pick
Because-
12. I don't know when he's
Because
going.
right now we've gotten everything I have wanted and more.
Listen, if you guys take Todd too, Jonathan, like you guys will have my favorite draft out of anyone, but that doesn't mean you're going to the playoffs. So just chill over there, dog. Just chill out a little bit.
You still have John Wall on the team. Like, calm down.
No, John Wall. No, at this point, John Wall's Achilles is healed by our draft.
Yeah.
Pelicans are
we're
selecting
getting-
Trey Murphy at 17.
Oh, that's not.
That's pretty
terrible, though.
decent. We haven't said
That's not
anything
bad.
about Trey Murphy, to be honest.
Actually
And
got that
honestly-
pick right. Is that right?
Yeah.
You had them
I
picking
like-
Trey Murphy at 17?
I did.
I think I had him going. I had him
That's a
going
solid
right
pick.
around here. It's a very solid pick.
Matt, is that the
That's
only
what-
pick you've gotten right since 3?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I also had Zaire Williams going off the board at 19, so I'm not celebrating too much. But you know,
No,
in a
we've
draft
all
like
been
this,
wrong.
I'll take it.
I don't think I've still been right, so it's fine. I don't think I've been right
I
since
have
3.
not had a single pick right since
Since Mobley.
since 3.
Yep.
Yep, since Evan Mobley.
Off the rails. Absolutely off the rails.
This is the best draft of my life. I'm so excited.
You know why I like the Trey Murphy pick? Because I've said that this is Memphis' strategy for years now. Let's just take the experienced player who we can trust to be like a quote unquote vet rookie, and let's just keep stocking guys who just know how to play basketball.
Except
Yeah, but isn't
17
he
is
going
now
to
New
New
Orleans. Yeah, he's going to New Orleans,
Oh, that's right.
not Memphis.
Yeah.
Which he still
Wait.
fits in New Orleans. Actually, I like his fit with Zion better than I like Brandon Ingram's, to be honest.
They gotta keep Lonzo, right?
I would think.
I don't think they're
Depends
going.
what the. Yeah, it depends.
I mean, Lonzo is going to be
Supposedly
a future
they're-
All-Star, so.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly they're shooting for Kyle Lowry.
Shout out to my producer
So-
Kevin Black in the background, just wanting to get in any word he can about Lonzo.
Yeah.
That's your guys' fault for talking about Lonzo.
Are bad.
I love Lonzo. I had him first in that draft. Was talking about his day. I don't know what totally it was, but I looked up my board from that draft today because I was talking about it with someone on Twitter, and I had Markel 5th because I don't know what it was, but I wrote because knees. So something made me think his knees weren't going to hold up. So I was halfway right. Wasn't his knees, but it was injuries. I said he's the best player in the draft, but his knees. So I don't know.
Chap, if Todd goes to the Clippers at 25, I'd be pretty happy about that, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Or
Where would I
Butler.
have
at this point.
I have Ty going 34.
Okay. I have him going 23rd to us.
There you go.
My highest remaining guy is Jalen Johnson. I've still got 3 top 10 guys.
Are we gonna hear OKC trade pick number 18 too? Are they just gonna
I'm
sell
wondering.
off that pick?
I'm wondering.
They apparently
all those
got the
Nets
only
picks
guy that
that'll
matters
never
to them.
convey
in
either.
City.
Kai
Can the
Jones
Mavs-
has to be coming off soon.
Yeah, he
can
has
the
to be.
Mavs please trade for a pick and get Garuba? If the Mavs could get Garuba, I would just be extremely happy. He's dropped way farther than he should have.
At that
And
point,
we know
Quentin
that
Grimes
he's
can go
friend-
first round, right?
I don't think that's
Oh, man.
insane.
This draft is so wild. I've had 2 egregious brain farts. Like I thought that Memphis was still making the pick at 17.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I had that comment I made earlier. This is wild, guys. This is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
David Savage, Sam Presti will not be happy until he picks every pick in a draft. That's probably accurate at this point. That's accurate. That's accurate,
Yeah.
David.
At some point though, again, at some point you hit law of diminishing returns with these picks.
This is really funny. On Twitter, somebody from Draft Twitter says, "I am extremely shocked that Kai Jones is still on the board." And then somebody else comments, "As a Longhorns fan, I am not."
As a Longhorns fan, I don't like Kai has his issues, but I really thought people were high on him. I think Kai needs to watch a ton of tape from guys like Christian Wood. He needs to watch a lot of tape from guys like Chris Boucher, Jaren Jackson Jr., some of those skinnier guys that have a little bit of skill. But he needs to look at how the only way they're existing is by being really tough defensively, on at least looking like you're tough defensively. I don't think maybe Jaren Jackson probably provides actual defense, but the other guys at least look like they're tough defensively, and Kai doesn't. So, but are we? So have we got a Woj bomb anything further out, or are we still just stuck on?
We're still waiting for 18,
So,
and/or if the pick gets traded.
yeah,
To
I'm going to
Dallas.
be honest.
So that they can draft Usman Garuba.
Usman's my number one guy left. He's my top guy left.
Now
Yeah,
Cade
mine.
Cunningham joins the ESPN folks. Congratulations to Cade Cunningham for being the first overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft. Life-changing opportunity. We're still waiting to see who is the pick at 18. I have absolutely no idea. I'm out of ideas. I'm out of options. This draft has destroyed me. As someone who has worked, as we all have, so hard for this moment, to just have all of our work just thrown into the garbage by these NBA teams.
Pretty much.
That's in full agreement.
But that's the thing. We can grade the prospects all we want. None of us knows what someone's going to actually do.
OKC can still take a big man. I just saw Day'Ron Sharp's name pop up somewhere. They could take
I mean,
Garuba.
even
They could
Isaiah
take Day'Ron
Jackson.
Sharp, Isaiah Jackson.
Isaiah Jackson.
I mocked
Kai
Isaiah
Jones.
Jackson at 18. So
You know what? I like Isaiah Jackson to Oklahoma City because he's on that Bruno Caboclo 2 years away from being 2 years away tract. And so I like someone like that going to a rebuilding squad that's gonna just shove him in the G League and get some reps.
Yeah, Bruno was the rawest player I've ever seen drafted in the first round, and that's saying quite a bit.
I still can't believe he was a first rounder. I blocked that out of my mind. He wasn't the
Getting
first, wasn't
NBA
he?
contracts. That dude was on
It's
a
true.
roster this year.
Yeah, it's insane.
'Cause he's only like 16 years old still. Like we drafted him so young.
It's true.
He was 2 years
Like
away
Jason-
from being 2 years away about 2 years ago. So
Right. Oh man.
According to Wikipedia, he's 25. He's only 25. It feels like he's 30.
I think he's been in the league for 8 years or so. It's insane.
he's been in the league for a long time.
He got drafted in
So he's like Chris.
2014.
So he's a year older than Chris Duarte.
Right. Right.
Dude.
Man,
Still don't have any intel on pick number 18.
No, I just refreshed.
We're all refreshing. That's where we're stuck on this live stream, just refreshing Twitter like we would be if we weren't on the live stream.
Right.
right?
Because who are the actual people on TV to tell us when the pick's going to be made, right?
I like Kai better than Jackson, but I overstated. Yeah, I do too, but I think it's I think Isaiah Jackson has a ton of things there that Kai doesn't have. But I do like Kai's versatility and his fluidity as an athlete, but Jackson's scary though. He's just
Kirby 34. What do you expect Detroit to do with their 3 second rounders?
Oklahoma City has drafted Trey Mann.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's exactly the type of person that you want to play alongside SGA in a backcourt.
And I
Is
No
it?
problems with that one.
I had him too. No, I'm joking. I didn't have him. I had him. I had him going 26.
I had him going to the Clippers at 25.
Kirby, I'd expect the Pistons to add some kind of shot making with at least 2 of those 3 second rounders. Maybe even trade off of 1 or 2 of them. But I think at least one of those picks, maybe 2, has to be for a little more shot making. They have one of the most versatile backcourts in the league in Killian and Cade. Let's keep putting some shot making around those guys, and then you have some defenders.
Yeah, and you've got Springer, you've got Bones, you got Cam, you got Christopher.
They may want to address some big depth too at the same time. Because they traded off Plumlee, didn't they?
Yeah.
Today. So they may have a plan to have addressed big depth, but with the way stuff is shaken out, I would still go bench shot maker.
There are a lot of shot makers going to be left at some point. And yeah, somebody or 2 or 3 guys are going to fall in the second round with the way this draft is shaping out. Stephen Gillespie on Twitter, Gideon Man to OKC. Are they really trying to move SGA?
It seems like it. It really seems like they don't like SGA, and I don't understand that. Unless his injury is just like way worse than we know. The Knicks are trading the 19th pick to Charlotte.
Well, Isaiah
for
Jackson
a future first round pick. This would be an Isaiah Jackson destination or a Kai Jones destination.
Yes, this has to be Kai Jones.
This needs to be a big depth. I want Kai Jones because Kai Jones finishing off lobs is so fun, and LaMelo throwing him lobs. I mean, not that Jackson's not that Jackson's not also a great lob finisher, but one of those 2 plus Bridges plus Book Knight running
Plus PJ.
Yeah, and PJ can throw down some stuff too. The athleticism within that.
Yeah, they just want to run everyone off the floor.
Charlotte has drafted Kai Jones.
There we go.
That's a solid pick.
So they're just going to play transition basketball, and they're just going to run everyone off the floor.
Yeah. That pick right there is solid. It's good value. It makes sense. He fits exactly what they want to do. Charlotte has had a fantastic draft.
They really have.
Which is not something we normally say.
Someone lock Michael Jordan out of the room.
I was kind of wondering that.
So now we move on to 20, I guess, at that point. After the trade, we know the pick at 19. Atlanta,
So this is
do they
Atlanta,
still
yeah.
take Cam Thomas?
To me, this is where you do Jared Butler.
Ooh, get a good backup for Trey.
They have to have a backup for Trey, and Butler can
Well, I
play
had
with
Trey
and
Mann
without Trey.
mocked to Atlanta originally.
Yeah, I thought that was a spot. Or you could also do Sharif Cooper. To me, it's Butler or Cooper.
This is where I had Zaire.
Well, that spoiler alert, that's off the board. That's so far gone at this point.
What was he, 6th or something?
No,
He was 10th. He was who Memphis is actually getting. I will give me the chance to correct myself on the airwaves. Brett, I hope so. I hope SGA is going nowhere.
Yeah.
Love Kai to Charlotte. Yeah, Kai is definitely, like we all talked about. We all love that pick for them. Kirby's saying I think he thinks Detroit needs some big depth and possibly a Euro draft and stash. So Jonathan, shouts out to you. Possibly adding some big man depth in the second round. They definitely could. Who's worth it though? Who's worth it for some big man depth in the second round?
Do both big man depth and draft and stash. Friends.
No, Vrenz isn't a big man.
Friends is skinny, but what?
Well, Philippe would be your big man draft and stash.
You know what's really funny? I saw Kevin O'Connor's video on YouTube with J. Kyle Mann. They were talking about Vrenz Blindberg as a possible sleeper, and KOC said he would knock Vrenz down his board because he tweets too much.
So does KOC not get to be on anyone's big board ever?
That was KOC is like starting to pick fights with draft Twitter at that point. I don't know how smart that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. I'll pick a fight with draft Twitter any day of the week.
If he had stayed in the draft, Rocco would have been a good.
Talking about
Yeah.
Oh, Rocco would have gone off the board already, hands down.
Yeah.
Guaranteed he would have been off the board. In this crazy wacky draft, the guy who I had the toughest time evaluating would have 100% been off the board.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know how I feel about Rocco because it's like it's definitely there, but it's also there's something in his game that confuses me to where I don't know if it translates. I feel the same thing about Vrenz. Just I feel like he's going to have a real problem actually getting to the rim in the NBA.
Is OKC just going for all the vibes with drafting Giddey, Man, Poku? Are they just like the all vibe team now? Is that what they are? The draft Twitter's all vibe team?
It seems like it. It does seem like it. You know who I had trouble evaluating? You're talking about trouble evaluating this year. I just really struggled with Johan Bagarin.
Yes.
From over in France. I struggled with him. I really did. It a little difficult. There's stuff I liked in his game, but then there was just stuff that was just like,
There's not enough tape out there for me.
Jalen
There's just
Johnson.
not enough out there on him, and that's what makes it tough.
That's a great pick.
So I love that. Jalen Johnson to the Hawks.
That's value.
Yes, for sure. That's smart. You can never have too many wings. So, yeah.
Well, especially if they're going to trade Cam Reddish. If any of those,
Jalen's going 20th.
Yep, Jalen Johnson's going 20th overall.
I nailed that one too. Wow.
I had
Look at you, Matt.
So
Matt's the only one of us still getting some picks right on his mock draft.
Only crazy
Congratulations.
I didn't do a mock draft on purpose.
That just goes to show the man who's been doing this for longer than we all have was probably going to get a few more picks right than us spring chickens over here.
Oh, listen, I'm still amazed when I get them right. Trust me. Trust me. There's no skill in that. There's no skill in getting this mock pick right, okay? It's just guess.
This whole
21 is the
draft.
Knicks, correct? Still the Knicks.
Yes.
Correct. 21 is
Is
still
there
the
a
Knicks.
more? Is there a more Tom Thibodeau player than Usman Garuba?
No, yeah, I
Mm.
think that he might absolutely be in play. I think I actually had him mocked to 21 at one point or another.
Isaiah Jackson's also on the board as well.
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
think Isaiah Jackson, I like him too for the Knicks.
Yeah, but Garuba would
Especially
probably
what
be
he
more
did
ready
with
to come in
Noel.
and play.
Yeah,
Garuba would
Knicks
be,
Twitter seems to be begging for Sharif.
Cooper?
Or they
yes.
Yeah.
They love Cooper.
What about Bones here?
Sharif
Yeah.
Cooper makes way too much sense to actually go to the Knicks at 21, so that's not going to happen.
That's very true.
that ain't going to happen.
At this point, yeah. Who do I have the Knicks taking? Let me see. Oh, that's right. I had the Knicks taking. Oh, I haven't taken Garuba at 21, so maybe that happens.
Matt gets 3 picks right in a row.
If I get 3 picks right in a row, I'm gonna drink.
He's taking another
Jeez.
shot.
I'm gonna take another shot.
I have Miles McBride going here.
Spike Lee's there. He's ready. Spike is ready. Spike is ready to cheer for somebody he's never watched film of. He's all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're announcing the pick. Spoiler alert, though, you're not watching Kai Jones Spike. That's not happening for you. Stick around for 21, though. As long as they don't trade that pick, too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, here we go.
That's what we're on.
Great suit from Kai, by the way. Great draft suit.
I don't know, man. I don't know how excited I am to see the Thunder in Summer League anymore. I don't know.
That's because it's actually going to be the entire NBA team.
Can you imagine being Kemba Walker right now? Like, are you kidding me?
I'll tell you what, I will be
adult.
thrilled to see Houston. I will be absolutely thrilled to see the Rockets.
Yeah.
Perk
Oh,
saying
man.
that Kai Jones has the best suit of the night. Congratulations. I mean, I do like that pink. I do like
I
it.
like it a lot.
That's
It's
stylish.
sweet.
Shout out to Kai Jones for having some of the best style on draft night.
That's a fact.
That's why you're watching the Draft Deeper live stream. You're not watching it for anything we say about these guys. You're watching it for our fashion comments.
Our
That's why we're all
fashion
here.
takes.
Yep,
Exactly.
that's why we're all here.
I was personally lower on him, but I'm pretty shocked.
Yeah, Brett,
That,
Poku will definitely be playing in Summer League, 100%. He'll be there.
Yeah.
Giddy, man. They'll have an interesting team. I would have been much more excited to watch Şengün, to be honest, on Oklahoma City, but
I'm going to be very excited to watch him.
I can't wait to see
kinda-
Jalen Green, Alper, and Şengün two-man game in the Summer League. I can't wait. Give me the
They
the
can run
dribble
some of
handoff
those-
game.
That like Jokic, Gary Harris handoff game.
You know what's
Go ahead.
scary is Şengün, the way he plays, and Jalen Green's mindset. That's gonna be some tough nosed basketball there, man.
Yep.
Also, the way that Şengün finds cutters to have Jalen Green be his cutter to find.
And KJ Martin.
Mm.
KJ Martin.
Kevin,
Oh.
our producer Kevin, behind the scenes, but making a comment on the stream. Last year, I rated everyone's suit on draft night for the live stream. Yes, Kevin, I do remember that you did that on the live stream. You were the fashionista on draft
I did that
night.
1 year. I did that 1 year, and it was the year that Bol wore a suit that cost more than he was going to end up making in his rookie contract. So I just was too depressed for it. So yeah, so I quit doing that.
Zach Rabita, welcome to the stream. He said I'm late joining, but how do y'all feel about Suggs going to Orlando? We all loved it.
Absolutely,
You missed-
Absolutely
great.
loved it.
Great pick.
You missed Jonathan jumping out of his seat, yelling in the mic. You missed Jordan also almost falling out of his seat. That was Matt when he wasn't taking shots at Johnny Walker. He was still focused. He was all for the Orlando Magic pick.
I was.
We were all excited
Well, that
for
was
it,
back
Zach.
when we were taking it just as seriously as we thought the NBA GMs were taking it.
Yeah, Zach, we made all those comments before Perk did the Jordan Bell comp for Jonathan Kuminga, so forgive us. I think we can point to that's really when the draft went That's when it really went off
Just
the
went
rails.
downhill.
That was our Nexus event, to borrow from the show, the
Yeah.
Loki TV show. That was.
There you go.
So who are you guys shocked that's still here? I think the only one that really shocks me is Keon Johnson still being here.
Yes.
I do think with the priority being on shooting lately in the NBA, a guy his size not being able to shoot like you would want him to has scared some people off. At the same time, I think I brought this up when we guested on the pod. He's got nearly identical splits to Will Barton as a freshman.
Yeah.
And Will Barton stunk it up from three as a freshman at Memphis, and then turned around and was great. And actually a pretty positive 3-point shooter.
Incredibly
Keon,
serviceable NBA player, Will Barton, I might add.
Yeah.
Will Barton's a
Yeah.
pretty good NBA player.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot very similar in that game. Big enough body to where they can play all three of the 1, 2, or 3 for stretches. Super bouncy athletes. And I think Keon's his form looks good enough to improve on. So he could be a real sleeper to have really made some improvements.
I will
Isaiah
say,
Todd is the guy I have that's my best guy left.
Jalen Johnson, they're probably going to announce that pick
Mhm.
soon. They're showing him on the draft show right now. Man, for a guy who I said probably didn't come into Duke knowing how to play basketball the best on both ends of the floor. Well, at least on offense, now you have Trae Young being able to direct you to where you need to go. You can just catch lobs from Trae all day. So, shout out to Jalen. Shout out to Jalen Johnson. It's gonna be really fun to see you in Atlanta, my friend.
Yeah.
My worry. Oh, go ahead.
Well, he's also got Nate McMillan to teach him defense, so I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's actually an excellent point, to be honest.
My worry with Jalen is Jalen really thrives in transition.
Well, the Hawks thrive in transition.
Yeah, and the Hawks do too. But my worry is he thrives kind of as the facilitator in transition.
He'll be able to fill. He'll be able to fill the lane. He'll be able to fill the lane and rise up for the lob. That's like when we talk about some of the easy play types to get guys involved in. I know, draft deeper live stream, we're going to actually talk about basketball here for a second, but when we talk about some of that, like that's why if Jonathan Kuminga fell in the draft and we'd kind of talked about him maybe going to Charlotte, another team that loves to play in transition, you have somebody like LaMelo setting him up for easy offense and transition all day long. Like sometimes that's the best spot for guys like that to come in and just get comfortable within the game, see the ball go through the basket a few times, and being able to contribute on the court any way possible to earn minutes to expand other parts of your game. That's what's most important. So I think it's a good fit. I think it's a great fit. I love the pick.
Yeah, and it's interesting that how much just your style of play can affect how much we love a comp or how much we love a fit on a team. Because if we're being completely serious, there's nothing wrong with Davion Mitchell going 9. There's nothing wrong with it. But the fact that he went to the Kings is what's wrong.
Yep.
And so
because there's no role for him.
Exactly. And so it's
Not
just
yet.
kind of crazy how much
there's not a
those
role
tiny
yet.
little changes. That's true. Yeah,
there could be a buddy trade, and that could make it change.
I'm kind of surprised
I'm
there
excited
hasn't been a
about.
trade.
One thing I'm excited about with Jalen is he won't have to play the 5 in Atlanta. He played a lot of 5 at Duke, and it hurt him a lot, I think.
Ton.
Yeah, that is a lot of extra responsibility on his shoulders defensively.
Yeah. Man, he is so good at offensive rebounding too.
Yep.
Like I don't think that was talked about enough. Like not that it's, the most valuable skill in the world, but I just
He's
don't
one of
think
the
that was
best
talked
athletes
about.
in the draft class. And
for sure.
Even when you aren't the most instinctual player, if you at least know how to get to a spot, maybe not have the greatest anticipation, but you know how to get to a spot and use your athleticism. Yeah, you can absolutely be a rebounder on both ends, and that's what Jalen Johnson. That was honestly some of the best things that Jalen Johnson did in college when he actually played at Duke was his rebounding on both ends of the floor. Absolutely, I agree.
I still
Matt,
can't
can
believe
I
they haven't
ask
announced
you a
21
draft
yet.
history question?
Sure.
All right. Has anyone ever picked someone who hadn't declared? Like it had to vacate the pick. I know, like
Yeah.
we had like Sabonis got picked and then they had to vacate that at one point. Like
Sarunas Marciulionis in 87, Arvydas Sabonis in 85. There were quite a few picks in the early 80s because teams were pissed off with the Boston Celtics for taking Larry Bird, so then they installed the rule that you couldn't draft a junior eligible player unless they declared for the draft, but teams were still trying to take junior eligible players, so the NBA said, no, you can't do that. They voided it. So, but the earliest ones it would be Sabonis in 85. Atlanta drafted him in the 4th round. He was a year too early. And Sarunas Marciulionis was drafted 87 by Golden State, but his draft year for his international eligibility was 86. So he was 86 eligible. He wasn't 87 eligible. And then our favorite GM of all time, David Kahn, the NBA never corrected it, but Tanguy Ngugobu was actually 28 years old when he was drafted.
Holy cow.
Yeah. They said he was 23 or something like that. His age was listed as 89, but it ended up being a typo or something, and his national team record said he was born in 83 or something like that. It's crazy, yeah. But the NBA never voided that pick, although they should have. They probably didn't want to for embarrassment's sake, but
I mean, the dude did pick Johnny Flynn before Ricky
That's defensible. Flynn got injured.
Flynn played for the Rockets. It's not defensible.
Hats off to David Kahn. What a legend.
David Kahn,
What
the
a
legend.
Quite literally, what a legend.
Oh yeah.
That's really solid value to get. I know we're still waiting on the next pick, but to get Jalen Johnson at 22 is really solid value, even with his off-court issues. Like he probably should have still gone higher than this. So,
yeah. Twitter's
think
saying they're worried that this means that
New York
that
is
this
trading
means-
21 to Detroit. That's what's taking so
Okay.
long.
Oh, wow.
So New York just doesn't want to make any draft picks. That's
Yeah,
actually a
they're-
little surprising, to be honest. You would have thought they
It's
would have tried
actually
to get some kind of contributor in there.
Shams is reporting that they're going to take Keon Johnson.
that's not a bad.
But it also he says the Clippers are taking so New York is
Yeah.
trading 21 to Detroit, but then Sham says the Clippers are selecting Keon Johnson.
Via
the
Nick.
Knicks, yeah.
So where's it going? Where's it going, Shams?
Yeah.
Woj, where's it? Who? So Woj says one, Shams says the other. Which one's right?
Well, the last time it was Shams, so I'm wondering if Woj is correct this time. We're just going to go back and forth.
Man, if Woj has to take 0 for 2 tonight, that'd be brutal. That'd be brutal. Woj, you're losing your touch, man.
I don't think Woj is worried about that one bit. I'm going to be honest.
No, he's not. He's not worried.
He's still getting paid.
Keon
millions
at
of dollars to
21, if that's really
whatever
for
he
the
wants.
Clippers, I'm pretty mad because
Yeah,
that's a
Where's
fantastic pick for the Clippers.
Chap, stand
And
up,
I'm-
man. Where are you at?
Mm.
Sound off in the chat. It might be Keon. He wanted anybody but Keon for the Clippers.
That's
Did he
hilarious.
really?
So where are you at, Chap?
That's hilarious.
Poor Chap.
New York Knicks.
I hate to say this, but Keon is like a better Trey Mann or Terrence Mann. So I hate to say that. Like,
Yep, Keon's been drafted.
Okay.
Who too?
So this might be
Beyond to the
New York
Clippers.
trading it to Detroit.
New York now
Detroit
has
may trade
25.
to the Clippers.
So
So
New
it
York
is
now has
just
25.
okay. So Shams was right.
Yep.
Wow.
Woj, 0 for 2, man. Come on.
Woj got out.
Woj, what are you
Did I
doing?
just say Keon Johnson dunked for the first time in 7th grade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phew.
Is
I
anybody
grabbed
like
the
that
rim.
green room?
I grabbed the rim in 8th grade and thought I was the best.
Consuela. Shout out to his mom, Consuela.
Is Keon the last guy in the green room?
That's a great question.
It's a great question.
Isaiah Jackson didn't make the green room, did he?
No, I think Cam Thomas is still in the green room.
Okay.
Clippers are sending 25 and a future second.
Oh, it looks like Isaiah Jackson's there.
Yeah, Isaiah Jackson would still be there.
Cam
Mhm.
Thomas, Isaiah Jackson. I
think
think
those are
those
the
are
only
the
two
guys
left.
remaining.
There's always some guys that fall in the green room.
Because it would have been Garuba would have been in the green room, but he was at the Olympics. So
Hopefully
correct.
nobody takes the Bowl fall to
Yeah.
44.
yeah.
That was a brutal green room fall.
That was brutal.
That poor
That was-
guy.
That was brutal.
That's all right. He made up for it. He had one of the best social media runs when he came in for the Nuggets in the bubble, and he just started jacking up shots all over the place. He got his revenge. So this
Also,
pick
one
is
of the
being made by
stupid-
Washington, essentially.
Okay.
Who can
Oh, yeah,
Washington
that's true.
pick up?
Man,
Here's the thing with the
Washington
Clippers.
would-
With the Clippers and Keon, he needs to get whoever taught Kawhi how to shoot between college and
Wizards are
NBA.
taking Isaiah Jackson.
Oh, that's
fine.
That's actually that's good. That's good.
I mean, yeah, I don't totally understand it, but I don't hate it.
So big
'Cause
man
don't they
depth
have,
behind Thomas
They
Bryant.
have Gafford. They have O'Brien. They have.
Oh,
or
I
they
got
have
that Bryant.
Bryant. Mhm.
Chap has officially come in the chat to sound off on the Clippers getting Keon, and
I need to know what he said.
Chap's probably going to now proceed to take more shots than Matt has tonight. So, hats off to you, Chap. Rest in peace. We're sorry. We like Keon Johnson. I like Keon Johnson.
Man,
So this is 22.
I actually nailed a couple late
23
picks. This is great.
now.
Oh, 23.
I mean,
All
so
right, this is me. I have Jaden Springer here, by the way.
I
in
have
case
Cam
you're wondering.
Thomas here.
I have Jaden Springer and Isaiah Todd with the next 2 picks for the Rockets.
If y'all get
Yeah.
Usman Garuba and Alperen Şengün, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, I actually have it going Cam Thomas, Jaden Springer here for Houston.
every time words come out of Woj's mouth, he just rises up in his seat in excitement. I love it.
Yeah, he's excited.
He is excited.
That's the most fun job in the world to me. Just getting to break all the breaking news. That'd be so fun. Probably exhausting, but fun.
So one of you guys said though that the Clippers needed another Terrence Mann type player, and to be honest,
Got
like
one.
Keon Johnson kind of is that guy.
He
Mhm.
is.
So,
Oh, Isaiah Jackson is being traded to Indiana.
oh my
Oh, that's
god,
a good. That's a good
Whoa,
fit
whoa, whoa,
because
whoa, whoa, whoa.
they're splitting up Tebronis.
Does that are they getting Turner?
Yeah, they.
Are the Wizards getting Turner? That could be huge.
That'd be real huge.
Mm.
Kevin said apparently it's Detroit's second round pick that was traded by the Clippers to the Knicks.
And that's
That might have been where the Detroit confusion came in. So Woj got a little excited. He tweeted a little too fast.
Man, Michael, you all right, bro? You need a Care Bear hug? Damn.
Yeah, he's going off right now. We're sorry, chap. I don't know what
Yeah,
else
it'll be
Bear is
okay.
There, bro.
That is a very unhappy person. I am so sorry.
I'm sorry, bro.
Chap, I say this as your friend and also as someone who's just like destined to face you again in the playoffs because apparently you're the only team we can face in the playoffs. But like, Keon's going to be good, and actually, Keon's probably someone you can throw on Luka for a little bit. So
He
it's
said,
another.
He said it won't be okay.
Chad, it's gonna be okay, man. Hey, you're having everyone who studies the draft tell you it's gonna be okay. Oh, if you just want to hate on Tennessee, that's fine. But
Okay,
Oh, that's true. I mean, that's fair.
that's fair. That's fair. I am the world's biggest Rick Barnes hater. I will tell you that.
Yeah, that he doesn't do anybody any favors at Tennessee. That offense is.
Didn't do anyone any favors at Texas.
Yeah. I don't care.
The
if he's
Wizards
good.
are sending Isaiah Jackson for Aaron Holiday.
Cap, it's fine, man.
That's a,
Isaiah Jackson for Aaron Holiday is not bad. That's not bad.
Kevin, I know you can get behind the Tennessee slander because you're a Florida Gators guy. I know you
Okay,
can.
ESPN with the slander about Houston needing depth at every position. Slander. It's true, but it's also slander somehow.
it's true.
I want Uzman and Jaden Springer probably.
He's got to be coming up here.
I love Isaiah Todd, but Uzman's still on the board, so I want him.
Yeah, I think he's my most outstanding player so far. Him, and then I think I had Butler going a little early. Where did I have Butler going?
Yeah, my man Jared Butler is just taking a free fall.
Yeah, I had Butler at 18.
I had Butler as most likely to do the bowl thing because of the.
I don't
injury.
understand why the Mavs aren't desperately on the phone trying to trade in to get Usman Garuba right now.
Because
I can't-
Maybe they are.
Because
I have called the Rocket picks right every time when we get to the pick. So it's gonna be
the Wizards are also getting 31.
Chap, I know you're a Vandy guy. I mean, listen, Scottie Pippen Jr. would be great, but he's going back to school, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen Jr. ain't in this draft yet, Chap. Maybe next year.
One of my personal favorite Rockets committed to Vandy and then decided to not do it. So KJ.
Yeah,
You know.
true.
Mm-hmm.
31 also went to the Wizards in the trade.
All right, I'm thinking Uzman and Springer with the next two picks.
That'd be a good duo. I could respect that.
Although don't count out Cam Thomas because
Take Jared Butler. Take Usman Garuba and Jared Butler, and you'd be my favorite Summer League team ever in the history of Summer League.
I'd love it. If
Jared
we pick
Butler's got to start coming off soon, man.
if
He's
we
gotta
pick
be a first
Uzman
rounder.
and Jared Butler, that means I would have the Rockets would have picked 4 guys that I had a top 15 grade on in the first round.
They would have 4 guys that I had top 10, actually.
So
That's
that
crazy.
trade, that trade with Indiana, so Wizards are getting number 31 along with Aaron Holiday.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
No,
Basically, they just added a wash machine into that trade just to get it to go.
that was
Yeah.
that was a this
Jesus.
is more of a get Bradley what he wants trade.
Does Beal want Aaron Holiday? I kind of I'm missing the connection there. Do I
Yeah.
really want Aaron Holiday that bad?
No, it's
They
get
probably wanted Drew, and this was all they could get him.
no, it's get space.
They got the wrong brother.
The Rockets are
Hey,
picking
Brett.
Usman Garuba.
Brad hopped on the phone with Tommy Shepard. He said get me Holiday, and they got him the wrong Holiday.
We just picked Draymond Green 2.0.
I hate this. I hate this so much.
I cannot explain how happy I am right now.
That's another great pick. I mean, Houston is man.
Houston's
they got a
killing
grand
it right
slam,
now.
man. Grand
Jaden
slam.
Springer.
I hate this so
Yeah.
much. Why? Why do all my favorite people have to go to Houston?
Because your
Why?
team's run by a sports gambler, Jordan. That's exactly why.
This is literally my 3 favorite prospects we have picked.
The Rockets hired Draft Twitter in their scouting department, and you guys hired a professional sports gambler. So congratulations.
True.
I know.
These are facts that are being spoken right now on the Draft Deeper live
Okay,
show.
if we
This is
take,
all
if we
true.
take, I think this is going to be Jaden Springer, but I want it to be Jared Butler so bad.
He's my most outstanding guy left. Yeah.
Sharif Cooper is
Yeah, I
still
have
on the
Butler or
board.
Cooper. Butler or Cooper or Springer.
Cooper, we've already got a point guard that can't shoot in Wall.
That's true. But Wall's like closer to retirement than actually like.
Just trade John Wall back to Washington.
Man,
Yeah.
New York fans are pissed. They really want Sharif Cooper. I'm on Twitter right
Josh
now.
Christopher is who is being picked at 24.
I like
That's
it.
a great pick.
I like
I
it.
like that pick.
Houston's getting the all vibes summer league.
I think they definitely hired NBA draft Twitter.
They did.
They like legit did.
They actually did. Yeah.
Raphael Stone is the best GM in the history.
No, this is it. That's
Guys,
a
Like it was Paul
That's
Zwicker
the
from the
draft.
You realize
ESPN.
we
Who else
got
is it?
Garuba, and
You got Şengün. You got
This
Josh
is
Christopher,
crazy.
Jalen Green.
Garuba and Joshua Christopher are the first picks of the Harden trade.
I dropped Christopher in my mock too. I had him in the first round, and now I said, man, he looks like he's losing a little steam. So of course I dropped him a little bit.
The
course he
first
gets
2
taken.
returns from the Harden trade are Usman Garuba and Joshua Christopher.
You know what I love about Josh Christopher? When I watched that film session he did with Schmitz, he's just so happy to play the game of basketball at any level.
Oh yeah.
He's just so happy. I love joyous guys like that. Jalen Green. Sometimes you got to balance out the Jalen Green. I'm just gonna take your lunch money with Josh Christopher. Like I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm just gonna give you all the vibes. I'm happy to be here for the culture. I love it.
I hate
Absolutely
this
love it.
so much.
Yeah, Houston had a great draft.
Just joy.
Dallas doesn't have a draft pick.
This is just like the
Jonathan's
worst.
going to do the happy dance somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go running or something.
I think he's
Someone
taking a
just
run.
texted me, Usman Garuba is a D&D player. Instead of a 3-and-D, he's a D&D.
Man,
Oh, I hate this.
Chuck from Chucking Darts says on Twitter, Şengün and Garuba in Houston is the chefest of kisses. Great draft for the Rockets. Yeah.
oh,
this is incredible.
yep.
I mean, Houston, they hit a grand slam. Wow.
God, I don't know how to grade this draft. This is
The
insane.
Knicks
This is
are
wild.
targeting Quentin Grimes at 25.
I like it. That's fine.
That's yeah.
I'll let that happen. I'll let it happen.
It's not my favorite, but
I would rather
Oh,
have
wow.
Bones.
yeah, me too.
Your boy Bones.
Have
Shout out to
have
Bones.
And quickly both get out on the court and just do the Spider-Man meme at each other.
The Knicks could have taken Jared Butler, but it's fine.
yeah.
That would have been Jared Butler's like the you want to know what the Knicks need? They just need him.
I really liked Grimes his freshman year.
How do you see your role in Sacramento? They're asking Davion. Yeah, he's probably like, hell, I don't know. He's gonna come into Sacramento and change things up. Well, yeah, if Buddy's out the door, you're changing something up.
That's true. I got a lot of flack for saying that Usman Garuba is more likely to be a defensive player of the year than Davion Mitchell is to make an all-defensive team. So that was my hot take that got me a lot of flack.
Well, Garuba's gonna get a lot of opportunity. Yeah, he's gonna get a lot of opportunity in Houston.
Yep.
For him to be the bench big. Now, who do they bring off the bench? Garuba or Şengün?
I think they probably bring Şengün off the bench, to be honest.
I
Yeah,
think
for the
so.
beginning.
You play
Or
Christian
they
Wood
might-
and Garuba.
They might trade Wood.
They might, because then but they might for some picks, but
They're not going to trade
Or-
Christian Wood. I think they really like Christian Wood.
I love Christian Wood. You don't trade the guy that enjoyed signing with you.
Yeah, I don't think they're trading him.
Unless it's like, I just can't wait to watch a lineup of Jagup, KPJ, and Green all out there hooping with Garuba and Wood in there.
Don't start up the Rashad Phillips. We're going to talk about hoopers versus basketball players. We can't. We better not be starting that up.
No. I just meant hooping. I just meant hooping. And then, but Wood and Garuba are really good at playing off other guys, if that makes sense.
We still have plenty of people out there watching this stream. Is anyone have any other thoughts at this point?
Yeah,
I know.
I'd like to say shout out to Quentin Grimes. I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of prospects need to take this approach. You know, things didn't go well for him at Kansas.
Nope.
He transferred, you know, took all the criticism, worked on it, and he's getting rewarded tonight with a first round selection that I think last year we didn't envision for him. So respect.
Yeah.
Where did he get
Hey,
picked at?
who has the Knicks?
25.
At
Who's
25?
got
Oh,
26?
I had Quentin going 26 to Denver. So
Yeah.
And I'm shocked I haven't seen JT Thor yet.
Oh, wait a second, boys. There's a chance. There is a chance that the Sixers get Jared Butler at 28. Nothing would make me happier than getting to watch that man in my own backyard. Nothing would make me happier.
then you don't have to
Watch-
trade Simmons. Let Butler be the ball handler that they've been missing this whole time, and you don't have to trade Simmons.
Or you still find a way to get Kyle Lowry, and then you have Jared Butler behind Kyle Lowry, and that also makes me happy.
Yeah. Could you do a sign and trade with Kyle somehow? Like
You
what
can.
what
Yes.
contracts do you have that you could send back that won't?
That's a great question. I don't really know who would be in the sign and trade. I don't know who Philly would be willing to put in the sign and trade. But depending on what Kyle's willing to come in for, it probably would have to be a sign and trade.
Mm-hmm. But Kyle needs to play in Philly. He needs to play in Philly.
I am so
I love how Adam Silver
Surprise.
calls it a planned trade.
you know,
Silver's like, I don't even know what's
Fair.
going on. The way he just said that, he's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't even understand my own league.
you know,
Mhm.
Butler's still pretty good value here. Sharif Cooper's fantastic value. Jaden Springer's really good. Miles McBride, Io, Bones is still here. Cam
Yeah, there's a
Thomas
lot
is
of
still
guards on
here.
the board.
Thor and Todd are still here. BJ Boston, Vrins, Dayron Sharp. You know, there's still some really solid value.
There's a lot of guys still on the board.
Yeah, I like Jacobaitis too from Lithuania.
That'd be a
Yeah.
good pick.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't
I'm
think
still-
I've been this excited for a Rockets team since the Harden trade went down. The one.
Look, you got every right to, man. I mean, they've really done their work this year.
I'm still a proud pioneer on Pons Point, but
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think he'll get drafted in the first round. But
No.
Greeny Green says Butler behind Maxey. I don't know, man. They could play together. They one doesn't
For
have to
sure.
be behind the other. Put them on the court
Yeah.
together. Let them wreak
Yeah.
havoc together as bench guards.
they fit together.
Let them storm the court proudly in Philly together.
Why am I starting to feel like Butler's going to go in the second round?
He's
Because
probably
he's getting
going
the
to
Bol
the second
Bol.
round.
He's getting the Bol Bol treatment.
Yep.
I've heard that there's also health concerns with his knees too, not just his heart.
Really?
Well, no one wants to Perry Jones it. is basically what it comes down to, unfortunately. And because Perry Jones was a talented ball player, his body just never got where it needed to be.
Man, I
And
still just
so-
can't. I can't believe Primo went 12. That just popped up on my timeline again.
So this is a really interesting tweet from Kevin O'Connor. I want to read this out really quick. The NBA makes the draft a bad experience for people attending and watching on TV. Adam Silver announcing the wrong teams, players wearing the wrong hats. It's so confusing, it's a shame. You have to follow on Twitter. The NFL does the draft way better. NBA should
I
learn
agree.
from them.
100%.
I agree.
100%.
I mean, yeah, we have
there's-
no idea what's going on at this point, so I kind of have to agree.
There's absolutely no reason we can't give these guys the right hats. It's stupid.
Agreed.
Well, they're trying to give out
I
the
mean-
hats in accordance to who owned the pick in the first place, but it does make it confusing.
Pick's been traded 3 or 4 times.
Well, if you're
There'd be
Oklahoma
more
City, you
trades.
probably have a. Yeah, there haven't. Well, there have been
There's a
trades,
handful.
but yeah, nothing more interesting. I agree, Matt. Like the Westbrook trade was the only blockbuster we got.
As Michael Chapman is telling me to get back on stream because I left, I didn't want to cry tears of joy on stream, so I had to leave.
There's the Quentin Grimes pick. Do we
Man.
have anything for 26 yet? I don't think so.
Nick's
I-
Twitter
I never-
not happy with Quentin Grimes. Not that they're ever
Well,
happy with a pick, but you know,
Clinton's
really not happy
exactly what he's the type of guard that would work really well for them.
Listen, the
Boom.
Knicks. Tom Thibodeau said it himself. They wanted defense and they wanted 3-point shooting.
Oh,
That's
As opposed
quite
to
literally
this is
what
a
you're doing, Ryan.
fantastic pit for Denver.
Is that who's going to 26,
Oh.
Matt?
Yeah.
Who went
Bones
26?
Highland to Denver.
I
Bones.
finally had one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Let me see I had Bones going 28.
That's a great pick for Denver,
That
especially
is.
with Murray on the mend.
Who's 27?
Brooklyn.
It's all starting to. Yeah, it is Brooklyn. Yeah. Man, I don't know who Brooklyn does.
Good for Bones.
Yeah.
Delaware kid.
That's a good.
You know, this would be a place for
pick.
Brooklyn to maybe reach for like Herb Jones or
All
Aaron
right.
Henry or something.
Sam Vecini may have the tweet of the night. The Houston Rockets have truly accomplished the impossible of the 2021 NBA draft. They have united Hooper Twitter, Analytics Twitter, and International Hoops Twitter.
Fact.
Facts.
It's true.
This is the best. This is the best.
Yeah, they're going to get a glowing review from me in the Reactions podcast.
Yeah.
A glowing review.
A+.
Ben, I don't follow the NHL that hard, so I wouldn't know much about the NHL draft, but I'll take your word for it. He says that draft was pretty poorly run as well, about how long it is. Well, we're in for a long draft. With the NBA draft's always long. The NBA draft never wraps up till like midnight.
No.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's already 2:44.
Oh yeah, Jordan across an ocean.
Yep.
Literally.
I
It's
remember
fine.
those
I'm
days.
just going into work
No,
tomorrow. That's
fine.
all.
Jacob
Yeah.
in the Overstated group says Orlando got Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner. I can't even. I don't know any Orlando fans, but I'm glad good things can happen to them for a change.
That's
True.
I
Orlando
really
had a
like
solid
that.
draft.
And Orlando got 2 guys that fit the culture they want.
I would love to go into any war with Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs. So
Yeah.
Cole
That's
Anthony. What is that starting lineup? Anthony, Suggs, Franz, Jonathan Isaac, and Wendell Carter. Ugh.
nah, Chumo Kiki's probably starting over Franz.
Yeah, probably. Because he played really well, especially at the year.
And if
Although who knows
whenever Markelle Fultz comes back, he would probably start over Cole Anthony.
Mhm.
It's probably going to be
Oh,
Cole.
he's
It's probably going to be Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Chumo Kiki, Jonathan Isaac, and Wendell Carter, and then you have all
also
those
RJ
guys on the
Hampton.
bench. Yeah, you have RJ Hampton on the bench. Cole Anthony will be on the bench now. Franz will be on the bench.
That's a
Scotty
lot of
Barnes.
good depth.
Oh, not Scotty Barnes. That's right. Jalen Suggs stuff. I'm so used to saying Scotty Barnes at 5. We had a mock that was just like tailor made for us, and it all just went to shit within 4 picks.
Destruction.
Everything went up in flames.
Okay, so
Who's
they're
left?
saying on Twitter that part of the reason we went with Şengün and Garuba is both of them had expressed a willingness to not come over this year.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so I don't know about that.
Oh, that's no fun.
That's not fun at all. I don't like that. Now, apparently Garuba has a big buyout, which would hurt.
That makes sense.
That would make sense.
And then, but Şengün's available with no buyout right now. So why would he go back?
Yeah, I don't think he'll go back.
That would be sad if you have to wait for Şengün.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Either way, the front court. The problem is the front court's where we needed depth. Like,
yeah,
it's where we really needed depth.
Yeah, I don't buy the Şengün though. I can't remember of any Turkish star signing with Spain or somewhere else when the NBA selected him. I can't think of anybody.
Yeah.
well, I mean, there's only been like 4 Turkish stars:
Okur, Cantor.
Okur.
Cantor and Asik.
Yeah, they've got. I gotta look this up.
Ersan Ilyasova.
Oh yeah, true, Ilyasova.
Yeah, Turkey has 13 draft picks. Some of these guys.
CD Osman.
Yeah.
Oh, Turkoglu was wasn't he?
Turkoglu, Rashad Turkan, Omar Asik, Furkan, that plays for Philly right
that's
there.
right.
Why have all of those guys played for Houston?
It's true. It's like a lot of them. Can we please get 27?
Yeah,
I
we've
have no
not
clue
been
who the
able
Knicks
to
are gonna go
27
with.
yet. Bones Highland's a fun pick for Denver.
He really
It
is.
really is.
That's a fun pick. Put another gunner next to Jokic. Do some more dribble handoff stuff. They can do a lot of the same stuff for him that they do for Jamal Murray.
Right, and especially with Jamal Murray recovering from the injury.
I think I told Jordan earlier today that I think Bones is a right-handed. He's like a right-handed Brandon Jennings before he got hurt. Just so fast.
You said that on this very show, I believe.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You brought up Brandon Jennings earlier in some capacity.
Okay. Yeah. Then it might all be running together after the Perk Jordan Bell issue.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's like the point where we all just stopped caring. We just wanted to have fun. Nothing mattered anymore.
Yeah.
Man, them showing some of these.
I can't believe that
from the combine. Oof.
Bones was so fun during the combine.
there are 6 fantastic guards still left. That's how deep this class is.
Yeah. That Io DeSumo promise doesn't seem like it's holding right now.
Right, 22 passed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Brooklyn 27, right? Is that who's picking now?
Ben says your
Yeah.
happiness at Denver's pick makes me happy. I hope so, Ben, because that is a good pick. That's a great pick.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is.
So Brooklyn at 27, I think if I had to make a bet, I'd say JT Thor might be in play here.
I could see that.
Yeah, I was
Take the
thinking
upside play.
Thor or Day'Ron Sharp.
I could see
Or
them going
Charles
Jadon
Bassey.
Sharp. I could see them going a big because of that was where they lost a lot of depth in the playoffs.
I could also see him going a wing, and like doing someone like Herb Jones, Aaron Henry,
Good
Kessler
shooter.
Edwards, Ponce. I don't think Ponce was a first rounder, but
God, I'm
he is in my
excited to
heart.
see who Philly's going to take.
Philly's going to take Sharif.
No, stop it.
Philly's going to take Sharif, another point guard who can't shoot.
Or they draft like Vrins and keep him overseas.
Oh, hell, take Cam Thomas.
If they take Vrenz Lindbergh, I swear I'll lose it.
Matt's just gonna walk out.
He's not like that, bro. If they do a first round on him, I'm gonna lose it.
At this point, I'm expecting Luka Garza to get drafted in the first round.
I'm really waiting for Luka Garza.
The Brooklyn Nets take Luka Garza. That actually seems way too perfect.
If
EJ
Luka Garza
Ono?
gets drafted, I'm gonna faint.
Could be
EJ Ono is going undrafted because he's going to the Mavs. Stop it.
Nothing yet.
Wait,
Nothing
no,
yet.
no, 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 no. Brooklyn's thing is they like to get stars to force their way to Brooklyn. This is where you take Alex Adenokumpo.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
okay.
stop it.
Instant.
The Nets better not take a cousin of God. No, we're not playing that game. Does
I'm really
Sharif
shocked
fall
that
to the second
Sharif is
round?
up. Yeah, I'm
This is
kind
taking a
of
while.
shocked
This
he's
has been
falling that
traded.
far.
That would be massive value in the second round.
Mhm. I bet this pick has been traded though.
Yeah, 28 or 27.
Greeny
Yeah,
Green, I would love Cooper and Philly. Man, you know what? I like Sharif. I've watched so much Ben Simmons not shoot the ball from the point guard spot that like if Sharif isn't coming in with like a league average jumper, like I don't know. It would just make me upset when there's guys like Cam Thomas on the board. Jared Butler obviously would be my top pick.
And Sharif is slipping, man.
I can't believe that
You,
Sharif is still
you can
here.
draft the guy that his college called him Ben Simmons with a jumper, Sandro Mamukelashvili.
Yeah,
Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, I'm not.
maybe.
I'm trying to see who I
Oh,
have.
Brooklyn takes Cam Thomas.
There you
Ah,
go.
That's a fun pick.
that's a fun pick That's a really fun pick.
I mean, there's
Very
only
fun.
one ball, but okay. So
Yeah, but here's the thing. Kyrie's gonna miss half the year anyway. Like
yeah, that's true.
Kyrie's gonna miss half the games anyway. So you
And
got to have
Thomas-
someone to come in. That's a good pick.
Last one out. Good for him.
So now we're at Philly.
At least
And
we're
we
at
all
no
know
green
who-
room guys. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
a
that's
plus,
true.
Matt. I agree with that. That's
Mhm.
you never want to see green room guys in the second round.
Yeah,
No.
that's always rough.
Yep.
What a wild draft, boys.
Brooklyn
Absolutely.
is keeping its pick for now.
It was like.
Oh man,
team-
yeah. Did the Sixers take Ayo Dosunmu?
Ooh, that's
Or
not a
Jared
bad
Butler.
thought.
No, they better take McBride.
Or Butler.
Is that who you have on the board for them, Matt? Do you have the McBride pick loaded up?
I hadn't taken Bones, but I had McBride already gone.
I had McBride going at 21.
And I had
So-
Jared Butler going 18, so what do I know?
What do we know? That's right. What the hell do we know? Anybody out
Man, I
there
just
still
wish they
watching
were
the draft stream? Yeah, we know nothing at this point.
Yeah.
Butler and Cooper available. Maury, don't fail me now. Greeny Green says, I agree, man.
Springer
Hey,
could
do
also
you
be another
think-
one.
Do you think Phoenix at 29 would be an ideal spot for Cooper? Chris Paul there?
They already traded that to the Nets, though.
Ah,
Yeah. I would have loved Miles McBride to the Suns. If we're talking
Oh,
about
that
if they still had the pick and Miles McBride falling, that would have been fun.
That would have been fun.
Very fun.
Maybe Philly just
Brooklyn is
takes the
really-
home run swing. Don't take the guard. Just take Isaiah Todd. Shoot for the stars.
Uh,
Shoot for the stars, baby.
why not?
Brooklyn
that-
has
why
decided
not?
to run the best defense is only playing offense.
Dayron Sharp's not yet off the board. JT Thor. Isaiah
Oh my God! If Philly takes Dayron Sharp, I might walk out. I think that would be the end of the stream. Not that I don't like Dayron Sharp, but like that's like No.
What do you think is his role moving forward?
Who?
Dayron, is he like a mildly more athletic Nikola Pekovic? Like
I
he
mean, I
reminds
think
me
he's
a
more
whole
like
lot. He reminds me a whole lot of like Isaiah Stewart, but wasn't as polished.
The fact that you just threw out like an old Timberwolves center comp for Dayron Sharp just like blew my mind. Like that, now I'm just done.
Like I just don't see it with Dayron. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I
Cam
feel
Thomas
bad.
is gonna kill it for the Nets. He's gonna kill it. They're literally just gonna look at him and be like, "All right, we're resting the stars. Just go out there and just shoot. I don't even care what the shot is. Just go out there and shoot."
right.
It's like
And
when Lou
Dayron,
Williams got to back up AI, where it was like, yeah, just go shoot for a bit.
Nobody cares. Just go shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Springer hasn't taken yet either.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
people are talking
surprised.
about Springer on draft Twitter.
I like
I
Springer.
mean,
Cooper,
I wouldn't be mad
Butler.
at that. I think
Man,
as long as
showing
the
Mike
pick is one of these
Conley.
guards, I'd be happy.
So
And
I said something
we
about
get-
in a vacuum. I was talking in a group chat, so since we're just kind of talking while we wait for picks to come in, I was saying that in a vacuum, there's no way I'd ever choose Chris Duarte over Moses Moody. And someone was like, "Yeah, but NBA teams don't live in a vacuum, so you can't really grade it as a vacuum." I said, "Yeah, but when you're like analyzing the draft, you don't get a team, so you can't. You have to do a vacuum." And so I don't know. I think it's very interesting how much. So like Indiana picking Duarte, I don't mind that.
Right.
I don't mind Indiana taking Duarte. Taking Duarte over Moody is a little weird, but I don't mind it. If it was just a random team at like 12 taking Duarte, then I'd have a problem.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that confuses people about the NBA draft because, let's be honest, the NBA draft is kooky. It's not like the NFL draft because the NFL draft, they're drafting for today. Like, who's the best player today? NBA drafts about who's the best player tomorrow. So it's a more, longer view on a prospect than the short term.
That's true.
That is a great point, Matt. Brooklyn Nets, we have a lot of scoring. We should probably get some defense. And then they
Jesus,
go
Cam
ahead and
Thomas.
draft Cam Thomas. They just get more buckets.
Yeah, they got the wrong guy for that because that's all he does. He's an Uzi.
This is gonna be
Nothing
fun.
for Philly yet. Is Philly trading the pick?
That's what I'm wondering. Or maybe they're just still completely in shock that this is the players they're choosing from.
I think that's what's taking so long is no one expected these players to be available.
That's really solid value to get Cam Thomas this late.
I mean,
Oh, this is a statement right here. Devin Booker, who is entering his 7th NBA season, is 8 months older than Indiana's Chris Duarte.
ooh,
Yeah.
that's gross. That's gross. It's gross. Has anyone drafted that?
76ers are
actually?
drafting Jaden Springer.
Oh, that's a good pick.
That's a good
I like
pick.
that one.
I like that.
That's solid.
That's solid. That's solid. He can play with Ben if you don't trade Ben. Although who was reporting that it was a done deal that the Sixers were going to trade Ben tonight?
I don't think
Everyone
anyone was
didn't have it.
reporting it necessarily. I think that a lot of people said that like the relationship's ruined. But I don't know if anybody guaranteed a trade being made tonight. I mean, I never thought a trade was going to be made tonight.
No, I'd wait till Beal or Dame gets angry before the beginning of the season, and then pounce.
I don't think Beal is going to ever request a trade. I think he's just going to stay.
I mean, I really like the pick of Jaden Springer. Jaden Springer was like a top 10, top 12 guy for me at the end of the day. Like, I would have taken him in the lottery range, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty solid to get him here. Sad it's not Butler, but it's solid to get. So 29 is the Nets again, correct? Because they traded.
That is
the
correct.
Suns, yes. Okay.
So JT Thor could still go to the Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
Yeah. I would think he's.
That should.
It's close.
That should be the pick. That should be the pick.
Wouldn't be a bad pick.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if they want to keep going with Gunners, they could do Isaiah Todd. Yes, I know. I don't need any more updates about the Rockets taking Şengün. I know. I'm upset about it enough.
Jared Butler's really fallen. I hate this.
Yeah, I hate that
Yeah.
for Jared Butler.
Gosh.
And it's all about the health.
And Sharif Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sharif.
Yeah, Sharif is just so small.
Well, no, the biggest problem for him was the eligibility issue. Then he didn't get to showcase what he really could do.
Right.
Oh, let Brooklyn take Jared Butler. Just let him do it. Let him get Jared Butler and Cam Thomas.
Would be crazy.
That would be crazy. Well, guys, I mean, we're essentially winding down here. We got 2 picks left in the first round, and we're doing the live stream for the first round, so we're almost at the finish line. What is the craziest thing that happened tonight? Because there's so much.
I mean, to
Giddey.
me, Giddey at 6 and Zaire Williams at 10 to me are the standouts. Like,
Anytime Kendrick Perkins opened his mouth.
yeah.
That's also a standout moment.
Standout moment. Colin. Jordan Bell.
Kaminga Jordan Bell.
Oh.
That's gonna live on draft Twitter for forever. Jordan, what is the most surprising pick of the night to you?
I think I gotta go with Giddey. Giddey just absolutely surprised me. I had thought that Zaire would go up a little bit. Not quite that far, but I thought he would rise a little bit. Or the fact that Moody got passed on that many times. So it's either Giddey or Moody. The fact that just like Moody kept getting passed on for no reason.
Jonathan?
The fact that I don't hate my team right now. I usually hate my team.
Oh my god.
I usually am like yelling at Daryl Morey by this point on draft night. So you can have that problem, Nate. But no, honestly, that Garuba fell to us. I had him as a lottery lock almost in my mind. I didn't think, but then it's probably between that and Zaire Williams. I had him at 20, and I thought I was high on him.
All right, thanks guys for letting me win this conversation because Josh Primo at 12 was the actual answer to this question.
Oh yeah,
But
that was
Forgot about
bizarre,
that
too.
thanks guys.
Look, When we
That
got
one was so
95
bizarre, we
bizarre
liked it.
things.
You let the host of the stream win. Thank you.
Yeah. There was, I mean, but that's how crazy this draft was. Like, we're talking about two in any common draft year we would be shocked by, and literally, yes, you're
There's
right.
like
Primo,
7.
we totally forgot about.
Greeny Green,
Oh.
Zaire to Memphis was his surprise, so you're in line with some of the other guys on here, but I still can't believe Primo went in the
I think
lottery.
the most surprising thing about Zaire going to Memphis is that Day'Ron Sharp is being picked by the Nets.
That's a decent pick. That
Yeah,
gives them
that's
more
not
size
bad.
up front. That's not a bad
depth.
pick.
That's depth. That's not bad. I would have gone Isaiah Todd.
Isaiah Todd would have been fun in Brooklyn.
Wow.
So now we are just waiting on the Jazz.
You're just waiting on the Jazz.
I had Day'Ron going 31, so not too bad.
Yeah,
Guys, I'm worn out. I am exhausted. I'm so glad that you guys hung in there with me. This has been a long process for all of us. Why don't you tell these people that
Popovich
are
made
still
it longer.
watching the stream right now one more time where they can find you guys? Matt, plug all your stuff, man.
Yeah, certainly. Thanks so much. Enjoyed everybody's company. Hope we do this again. You can find me on Twitter, The Draft Review. My website, The Draft Review. You can find me on Facebook, Matthew Maurer. Look, if you want to talk about draft history, if you want to talk about the draft, whatever, I'm available and ready to talk. And I'm trying to get Nathan involved. I'm also in Clubhouse a lot, so come snoop around.
We got to get some Clubhouse stuff going.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. Jordan,
What is
go ahead.
Clubhouse for those of us who have never heard of Clubhouse?
It's basically like Spotify Green Room, but a different app.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's basically
cool.
the same thing.
Sounds good. So we're at Assisted Development Podcast or assisteddevelopmentpod.com. We try to do pretty often. We are also, I'm on Twitter at the Baturi Preacher. Sorry, it's like 3:07 here, so I'll hand it over to Jonathan to do the rest of our plugs.
Yeah, we're found wherever podcasts are. All of those fun apps. And then I'm on Twitter as Pastor Post Up. And so, yeah, Nathan, thanks for having us.
Yeah, this was
Absolutely.
a blast. This was maybe next year there won't be a draft like this, and we can I don't know, be a little more professional. Yeah.
Right. Well,
I don't know.
if
Lord only
Popovich would be
knows.
more professional.
Lord only knows. I got no
if
other words.
Kendrick Perkins is announced in the draft, I can't.
What a draft, boys.
Yeah.
Draft.
This is
We're
certainly
just-
one for the ages.
This is one for the history books.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
Utah has
somebody's gonna be
traded-
teaching discourse on this draft. Like
Utah
5 years
traded
from now.
20 to Memphis. I think he means 30. Woj just said Utah traded 20. I think he means 30 to Memphis.
Woj had a typo. No, it says
Again.
30.
Oh, no,
Maybe
he deleted it.
mistweeted.
And then
Okay.
he deleted it.
So
and
Memphis is making the last
retweeted.
pick in the first round. Which
See,
is
this
basically
should
what they
be-
did last year. They literally swooped
Yeah,
in and got
This should
Desmond
be
Bane.
Butler, right?
This should be
This
Jared
should be
Butler.
Butler.
Maybe.
Butler.
Let's let Memphis do
Or-
the same thing. They got Desmond Bane, which
Yes.
was tremendous value at the end of the first last year when they traded in. Let them get Jared Butler, get even more immense value. Memphis just makes all the right draft picks. Except for Zaire Williams. The jury's
Yeah,
out
that
on
was
that
my-
one.
Yeah.
The jury's out on that one.
I promise you, Zaire
Oh
would
my
have been available
goodness.
at 17.
Oh,
Whoa. What?
Is it
I'm
Luka
gonna throw
Garza?
up.
Santi
I'm gonna.
Aldama.
It's worse. It's worse than Luka Garza.
Santi Aldama.
That's how we end the night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yo, you
I'm gonna
can't
throw
beat
up.
this. What?
Oh my word! I didn't have him in my top 60.
I had him 49.
I didn't 60. Let me make sure exactly. I don't want to say it wrong. 60.
Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Take the wheel. Take the wheel. Santi Aldama from
Who said
Lola.
67.
Santi?
Oh,
Jordan, yeah. I'm looking at Jordan's big board. He's 67th.
67.
Jordan Foot says, "Guys, I got nothing for you here."
Bro, what the
What just happened?
Well,
I'm going to bed, guys.
Well, he made draft history because that's the first time Lola of Maryland has ever had a number 1 pick. Wow. This is crazy.
I'm in actual shock.
Okay.
That is way worse than the Primo pick.
Yeah.
Every
I
time
can't wait
I
for
think
Schmidt. I
jumped
can't
this
wait for
chart-
Schmitz. Schmitz is just gonna be like, "What's going on?" He's gonna have to like talk about Santi Altima in the first round. Schmitz is gonna be like, "I wasn't expecting to break out this film for about 20 picks later."
I
Oh
just really
man.
want someone to be like, oh, I want the time where one of these guys goes, "Who? Who is that?"
This is insane.
I don't know, guys. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing.
I mean, what is going on in the back offices? Like, is this an agent favor? What is going
They're
on?
just they're just jacking off back there. It doesn't matter. The world doesn't matter.
Does he
Memphis.
have? Does he have
Memphis is
European?
usually solid.
Does he have a Euro passport that he could go?
Yes.
and
He could
draft
be
and
stashed.
stash?
He could be drafted.
Yeah, he
stashed.
could go to Spain.
Okay, so that might be
Maybe.
the move.
Maybe it's a draft and stash.
Guys, I got nothing else. We're gonna cut it here. We're definitely
Sounds
gonna
good.
cut
Wow.
it here.
Yeah. I'm going to go take another shot.
I'm gonna go sleep.
Thank you, everyone out there, everyone who tuned in at some point tonight. Seriously, thank you so much. It means the world. Have a good night, everybody.
Talk to y'all later.
Good night.
Let's see.